So what's going on, guys? How's it going? Let me adjust this here a little bit. Sorry, got the mic set up not where I want it. Let me just do that. Sorry. There we go. How you doing, guys? Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Hope you guys are doing well. Lots of fun stuff going on my end. Oh, let me turn that off. I didn't mean to have that on by default. Whoops. There it goes. So, how you guys doing today? So, what are we up to? So, if you guys remember, when I checked in on Monday, I was still trying to deal with Google Play, kind of messing up on me, and also to finish up on the icon selection menu system. So, and then I also have to deal with setting up the unlock cards, right? But check this out. If I bring this over, here's my to-do list. We will see that to-do list is now a mesmerizing one item. That's right. Finally had some success. Let me fix this. Hold on. Finally had some success in setting up the menu system and Google Play. If you guys want a quick demo, I'll show you. Before, I figured out what it was. So the issue with the Google Play was the fact that when you're starting a new account, it was updating it, but also generating a second version of it. And that's kind of where it was going all wrong. But working nicely now. As a matter of fact, I'll give you a quick demo. Look at that. Why is that going all big on me? That's interesting. What broke? Color source, game capture, menu background, color source. Look at that. Alright, I'm not sure what happened on my little small setup there. Sorry about that. How about this guy? Okay, I'll run with the big one. So be it. Fixing stuff on the fly. Alright. So, the beauty of it now is that I can actually do all the kind of stuff. I can log out, come back in, I'll switch over. So, as I was talking about before, basically you can have, you can also have your Google Play account as well as the guest account. So there you go, check it out. So that's all working nicely. Finally, log out, go online, come up and switch over to guest account one more time. There, that's all working great now. I'm thrilled to finally get that in line, because it was definitely giving me a headache for a long time. And if you guys might have noticed, I revamped the options menu just a little bit. USA Index, how long did this take to make? Hey, how's it going, USA Index? Thanks for joining me, buddy. So the game has been in development for about a year and a half, but that's been stretched out over 3 years. The reason why is because I also work as an animator. So if I get animation work and that pops up, then I kind of stop down on the game for a little while and go back to that. So technically there's about a year and a half worth of development, but stretched over 3 years. In case you're curious, it's I don't know if you've seen it before, but if you haven't, welcome. So imagine sort of like Angry Birds meets Battleship. It is going to be an online multiplayer game for iOS and Android, and then later on for desktop as well. And the objective here is, you see, it's not turn-based. It's actually real-time. That's where it kind of gets a little more interesting than some of the other games out there. But the objective here is you're trying to take out the bouncing buildings, because the bouncing buildings actually reinforce that force field. So I'm going to read through here. And then you see that crate. You see the AI is trying to shoot that crate on the left side of frame. That's a power-up, which if you hit it, you score for 15 seconds. Oh, and I was short there. Oh, he got it. So for 15 seconds, he's got a fog bank covering his buildings. So I'm just kind of shooting randomly, trying to nail it. So you can see here's the timer here. So he's got 5 seconds left on that power up. There you go. Oop. Like that. And oh, another thing too, you can see actually he sent out villagers to rebuild the buildings, right? Which you could do that, but the trick is the more guys you send out, the fewer are left on your catapult, which means your reload times will go up. So I can actually fire twice as fast as him. So I got that nice little advantage. The green arrow power up, that actually makes your guys go twice as fast, but it doesn't matter because it's game over. Boom, like that. It's a very nice concept and looks great. Thank you. Thank you, USA. USAG Index. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the kind words. It has been an evolution. If you saw the very first little prototype I came up with 3 years ago from what I am today. It's been a growth. So, and I say it's Angry Birds meets Battleship, and I say that because you can actually customize the layout. So I'm gonna come over here and you go into layout, and you can place the buildings wherever you want. So if you have this like ideal setup in your head, no problem. I'm hitting random right now, but I hit clear, and you can also place the buildings one by one, so you can get the layout to be exactly the way you want it, just like that. And once you finish getting it all in place, you just hit save and toss it in a slot, and there you go, you're all set. You start off with just like the regular warrior character, but over time you can actually unlock these other characters, and this is more of a cosmetic change. I'm not a fan of pay to win, so you can see there is a slight difference in performance on the characters, but it's actually much more of a cosmetic thing versus an actual change in play. Will this be free on Google Play? Yes. You know what? Thanks for asking. Since you did that, let me bring this up real quick. It will be a free-to-play game, and since you say you are Google Play, you're an Android user, check this out. If you want to give it a try, you can right now. I have a beta version, which I'm on the verge of updating. So this is a slightly older version, but there you go. If you go to Google Play, you can actually try the game out for free right now. It is a slightly older version, like I said. And then once I do this new version, chances are you guys are going to have to clear the data. Neo Tokyo, hey, what's up, buddy? Canadian Sean's back too. Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for dropping in. Neo Tokyo, I saw the follow before I even got started, man. Thank you so much for the follow, buddy. So as I was saying, I'm like my to-do list, as I was just showing earlier. Check this out. My to-do list is literally down to one item, and once I get that knocked out, I will be updating the beta, and then once that's out on Google Play, then also crank on the iOS version. I want that to get out there too, so you guys can try out the. For those of you that are Apple users, I'll have it set up for test flight, so you guys will be able to try it on there. So give it a try. And like I said, unfortunately, it is a slightly older version that I have on Google Play. USA, very cool. Thanks, man. But so I've done a ton of changes. I mean, and even though the one that's on Google Play right now is just over just over a month and a half old. There's been so many changes that's going to require a definite purging of the data, which I'll give a rundown on how to address that. But it's not just like uninstalling the app; it's also going in and clearing the data. Videxen, you're in red, man. I'm having a hard time reading that. XD, there you go. I'll just call you XD. How's it going, man? Hey, thanks for joining in, buddy. So I was just giving a quick rundown of the game here. In case you guys hadn't seen it before. You know what? Actually, tell you what. Since I got my Android, let me try this one more time. See if it's still broken. Wow, I'm not sure what broke on this. Let me, color source. Let me try doing it that way. No. Game capture. That way. There it goes. Okay, now that should be working better. Let me turn that off. There we go. So I have the smaller version. So what you're seeing up here in the top left, that's I changed my color. It's fine though. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's a combination of the bright red and combined with my eyes not getting any younger. I was having a little hard time reading that, but welcome. Okay, so as I was saying, so what you're seeing up there in the top left is my Android tablet being streamed. So I can actually show you what an online game looks like properly. So let's switch this over and hit, there you go, there. So, and this is for all intents and purposes, this would be like Android playing against a PC. Uh-oh, did they not find each other? Uh-oh, did something break? Hey, look at that, something broke. Wow. Failed to call. Okay. I guess I'm not quite as done as I thought I was. Check that out, man. Look at that. Okay, well, that's not good. Okay. And it just hangs here. And it's actually crashed on this side, too. Check it out. Red launcher. Huh. Alright. Yep, I guess in my last tinkering, and the last day and a half, I broke something else, so I will have to fix that. Let me turn him back off again. Where'd he go? Man, this does not scroll well, does it? There it goes. Okay. Sorry about that. I thought I was all in good shape. Did you make all the sprites and models yourself? In a nutshell, yes. I'm a one-man wrecking crew. The one thing I do point out is the fact that my character designs, which I did originally, I was not really happy with. So there's a very talented artist named Daniel Thomas, that I contacted, who I've worked with before, and got him to do some new character design for me. So the character designs were actually done by a very talented artist, Daniel Thomas, and then I kind of took it over because unfortunately I don't have the budget to hire him properly, at least not yet, to like take care of everything for me. But aside from that, yeah, the little buildings you see here, I actually modeled those in an old 3D program called Lightwave, and then printed them out, rendered them out as gray shade objects, and then brought them into Photoshop and painted on top of them to give them that toon shading kind of look. So here, I'll zoom in. As you can see, it's a mix of 2D and 3D. I just did that for performance reasons because I want to make sure that even on lower end mobile devices, it'll run fine. So as you can see, so like anything that moves around that rotates, like the catapult or the sharks or even the villagers, those are 3D objects. But things that are just stationary and just kind of bouncing around, those are going to be 2D sprites. But yeah, that's me. Can I know what you are using for the online network matchmaking? Is it Unity's built-in or a different plugin? Because I heard Unity's built-in isn't very good. I tried it when it first came out of beta. That would be UNet, right? I tried it, and I had major issues. For me, the key two things were it charges for data, the amount of data you use, and I found that compared to like the Photon engine, it was actually like a multiple in terms of data, right? Which means that the game was going to cost me more to run. But more importantly, it also wasn't giving me a consistent server timestamp. And my game, all my firings of the shots here, with the catapult, the way I work in my multiplayer is I don't actually update the shot. I just send the data over in terms of rotation, velocity, and server time. So that way when the other person gets that information, they can match that, right? And the cannonballs are actually animations, not actual like physics simulations. So I need the server time to be exact. So long story short is I walked away from UNet, and it sounds like this is a good idea because Unity has already announced that they're sunsetting it. They got another 2 years that's going to stick around, but they've already announced that they're killing it. So that's the answer about UNet. For what I'm using, I'm actually using a combination of, for my player data, I'm using a plugin called Kombu, which I haven't plugged it lately, so I will do it again here, because I do love this plugin. Check this out. See what it's going for these days. There you go. So Kombu is what I use. It's $35, man. I think I paid $50, and I still feel like I paid too little for it. So it is a fantastic tool for keeping track of user data, and I absolutely adore it, man. It is so great. Now, as for the actual the matchmaking process and the online multiplayer, which in essence I use the matchmaking, but then it becomes a peer-to-peer with one of the players serving as the server and one as the host. But for that, I'm using TShareNet, TNet 3. So TNet is the same guy that also wrote NGUI, which is also the same guy that did Unity's UGUI as well. At least he started working on it, and I think he walked away, and I think Unity finished it up. But so there you go. So for player data, Kombu. For networking, TShareNet, TNet. Yeah, and I mean I've mentioned this before, but I'll explain. So I started with Photon, right? And I had Photon completely integrated and working nicely. And my only caveats about Photon was whereas with this, because I'm using Kombu and TShareNet, and I'm running it on an AWS Amazon server, right? So the nice thing about this is that I control every aspect of it, right? The only way it could go wrong is if Amazon goes out of business, right, and my server goes away. But then again, if Amazon goes out of business, then the apocalypse is hit and the world is over anyways. So the nice thing about my current setup is that I feel very, very, very confident that it's not going to disappear overnight. And the catch is if you use something like Photon, right, they may be here for 100 million years, right? But you don't know that, right? And if Photon goes down, then your game instantly goes down. You instantly lose multiplayer, right? And you have no way, there's not like you can flip a switch and switch to a different multiplayer engine, because all that stuff is coded with Photon, right? So it was a combination of just skittishness of, you know, what happens if the company disappears, also combined with, I was concerned about the costs. If the game expands big time, right, then I'm concerned about how much that would actually cost out of pocket. You know, and just in the beginning too, you know, when I'm starting smaller, the prices, I think, kind of jump up quickly, you know. So I tried that. I tried GameSpark, and quite honestly, with GameSpark, I had issues with the documentation. I'm, you know, once again, sorry for those who've heard it a million times, but I say I'm 85% artist, 15% programmer. So for me, GameSpark was a struggle trying to figure out exactly. The documentation was not there. It may have improved because this is a while back that I tried it. So the long story short is that I pretty much went through a bunch of the different options. And this is what I'm working with now, which is great with one exception. The only thing that bugs me about TShareNet is that you can see the author actually makes his own video games, right? He has his own games on Steam. He doesn't have any plans on doing a WebGL version. So as a result, TNet has no support for WebGL, which means that I cannot do a Volley Village game on WebGL that plays multiplayer, and it drives me nuts. But it's, you know, it's his plugin, so if he wants to do it that way, he can. But that's the only thing that really bugs me. Have you heard of Spatial OS? I have not. Fill me in, man. Here, I'll do a quick search myself here. See if I can get up to speed. Spatial OS for games. What are we talking about here? Oh, managed cloud service. Gotcha. Wait, is this one? I think I may have heard of this one. I think they're aimed more towards higher end AAA titles, aren't they? Is that the one I'm thinking of? You can, yeah, it's cloud based. Okay, gotcha. Maybe I'm thinking of another one, but there's one that I thought that came up that was more geared towards like super high end, because mine's really not performance based. No, generally speaking, the only data I send, as I was talking about, is the rotation of your catapult, which I do like every 10th of a second, and the firing, and if a villager comes out, right, then even the villagers, I don't have real-time updates on their position. I simply, because they're both working off of the nav mesh of Unity, I tell it where its start position is and where its end goal is, and in theory, both sides should have the character going to the same point, right? And if it gets out of line, it's no big deal, because once it actually reaches the building, I tell him he's at the building, and it would snap into place anyways. Let's see. Cross-platforming, I can't speak. Cross-platforming and stuff. I believe anyone can sign up to use it. For a multiplayer game, you probably have ranking stored too. Yeah, absolutely. That is another combo benefit. So if I come back here, and the benefit of using Kombu as opposed to Google Play or Game Center is the fact that it's cross-platform. Oops, wrong button. Wait, why do I not have leaderboard popping up on me? What broke? See if it comes back again here. See, that's just a little glitch. Come on, leaderboard button. There it is. There. Yeah. So here we go. And it takes a little while to load. I'm actually going to touch base with them, see if there's a reason why this, you know, is taken, because I don't have that much data in here. I have about 150 players, but yeah, so it pops to where you are, right? And automatically shows your personal ranking, right? And then you can just scrub through all the different players like that. So I have two categories. I have the most cash that's been won, and also the most wins. So there's two different areas you can try and get in the leaderboard. Let's see. Any plans on a Steam release port? You know, short answer, yes. I definitely want to do a PC version, and of course release it on Steam. My only key issues is trying to figure out how to monetize, because most of my monetization will come from people probably hitting this, right? You know, I want free coins. You know, I'll watch a video, I'll do an offer wall, or hey, look at this. Every hour you get 25 more free coins. Look at that. There you go, countdown goes. So, you know, this is not something I can integrate on the PC side, right? There's no such thing as streaming ads, right? Rewarded videos. So there is the option of the purchasing of coins, right? This is the editor, which is why I don't see values popping up here. But, you know, what I'm concerned about is that, you know, having this as my only means of income for the game, I think is going to be a bit of a challenge, and I don't know how well it gets accepted. But, yeah, I mean, in terms of complexity, it's pretty much already there, right? I can switch it over into PC mode and it's ready to go. But I just have to sort of like decide myself if, you know, and then of course the other issue too is that PC games, you know, by their very nature are much more accessible to hackers. So that's the other thing that I'm concerned about, is that if I put it out there, you know, people figure out ways to just exploit the crap out of it, and then, you know, those people are playing the game and just destroying anyone else that they play, and that I want to avoid. What about removing the MTX and adding a box price for PC? Sometimes it works. Yeah, and I've talked about that. Actually, that's a great question. I talked about that, oh geez, not that long ago, because I was having this mindset of maybe I could change it into a one-time premium kind of thing where you get it for free, local, right? And if you want multiplayer, you unlock the rest of it. But my concern would be then is, what's the motivation to continue playing, right? If you don't have a coin system, right? You know, I mean, because if you make someone pay for the game, and then also if they run out of coins, you tell them they have to pay for more coins, man, that would piss me off. So, you know, I would be a hypocrite if I made a game that did that. So, you know, if you wanted to customize the characters and unlock these other characters, you know, it's like, well, I mean, are those things that you have to unlock over time, or is that something that I just unlock all of them right from the get-go because you purchased the game, right? So, and yeah, and that was my back and forth debate, you know. And the other issue too is, how much do I charge? Because I mean, I would love to just do a one-time charge up front, but if I have a ton of gamers that come on and pay a low-end price for the whole game and start playing the game like crazy, right? Then they're gonna be, you know, just going to town on my server. Excuse me, you know, and then I'm going to be dealing with server costs, even though I will never have a chance to generate more revenue from these guys, right? So then I have to do some crazy number of like a higher premium charge up front, which people are going to go, wait, why am I paying, you know, what, like $10, $15, $20 for a game that's free on mobile, you know? And I have to try and explain this because, you know, you're getting the whole game, and, you know, you guys can just beat my server crazy, you know? So that's the mindset, and that's why I say yes, I want to do desktop if I can figure out the proper way to monetize it, you know. But you know, I definitely want to do it. I mean, it's set up and it runs fine, you know, cross-platform. But I just gotta kind of get a better mindset of that. So, but anyways, so going back to what I was talking about before. So if you guys remember, if you're here on Monday, you know that I was having issues with the Google Play stuff, which I do have working, although I don't know why I aired out. I might set this up. Let me switch this back into PC mode. I'm sorry, this will take a second to switch modes. I'm in Android mode right now, but I want to just do a PC local build. You know what? Before I do that, I guess I could do a quick run here. Documents. Maybe builds. PC. A USAG index. Give me a follow. Thanks, man. Thank you so much. Dude, I really appreciate that. Thanks, man. Cool. Thanks. Alright. So, this is a PC build that I made a little while ago. So, you can see it's version 5.6, but I don't think there's anything that's going to make that break. But, and then for those of you that are using the beta, I think I've shown this before, but I'll probably point it out for anyone that has issues. If you triple tap the upper left corner, like that, it brings up the debugger, right? And then I got 3 errors. This is just saying that the ad network stuff can't connect, of course, because it's on a PC, so the ad network's going to freak out there. So those errors are meaningless. But what I want to find out here is clear this and see if this thing... Oh, crap. Did I connect in time? Yes. Alright, he did an error. There it goes. Weird. Huh. Okay, maybe I just need to update my Android version, because maybe I would just, yeah. But So this is what a multiplayer game looks like when it works. So, there he goes. Okay, good. So let me just do a rebuild on my Android device, I think. Yeah. Welcome. Yes, thank you. Yes. USAG, welcome, welcome. And thank you so much for the follow, dude. I do appreciate that. Okay, so I don't know why it aired out a second ago. You know what? I'm just gonna fire this back up again. I'm gonna feel brave here. So now I'm gonna find out if there's something wrong with my Android build that I just need to update it, or fire that up again. Why is it doing that? See, color source is off. Game capture. Okay, I'll just do it that way. I don't know why it was bugging out. All right, fire this back up. Fire this back up. And I guess I'll throw on the editor so I can actually see if it pops up with an error. If I can bring it up. Come on, buddy. There it goes. Alright. We'll mark that out there. So it's hard to see, but I got the editor covering it right now, but you can actually see I got the online mode set up. So I hit here, and I hit here. And it is connecting, okay? Interesting. Okay, wow, I definitely broke something. So it's running fine on the PC, so maybe I just need, hopefully I just need to update this build. Let me try that. I'm gonna do that. Hey, Gunnar, welcome, buddy. How's it going, man? So, yeah, Gunnar, my good friend here in Las Vegas. For those of you who don't know, I'm coming to you from Sin City, Las Vegas. Gunnar, fine gentleman, who actually runs the local IGDA here in Las Vegas, who's done a fantastic job of resurrecting that group and getting the numbers in, man. How's it going, buddy? Thanks for joining in. So I'm just showing off what I thought was working, but now, for some reason, it's misbehaving a little bit. And I'm hoping that it's just I need an update. So I'm going to do a quick, well, relatively quick, updated build, and I'm going to send it off. So what you see in the upper left corner, that is my Android tablet. Not going great, but trying to distract myself. Oh, sorry, man. Oh, crud. All right, well, we can talk offline if you want, man. Hit me up on Discord offline. Or I guess we got the Unity meeting next week, so we can talk then. So if you don't feel like yeah, man, absolutely. Oh yeah, and he's also helping organize the Game Jam here in Las Vegas too. So for the first time ever, the Global Game Jam will actually be here in Las Vegas. Thanks to Gunnar, who's putting that all together. It'll be held at the UNLV, which is great because I've been living here in Vegas for 7 years, and I've driven past UNLV a million times, but I've actually never been there. So it'd be the first time. It'd actually be my first stroll in there. Epic. I've been thinking about your advice, like focusing on specifics in regard to 3D modeling instead of stressing out generalizing everything. Dude, fantastic choice, man. The key thing is to make sure that it's the area that you want to specialize in, right? And if it's something that you have a true passion for, right? Then yeah, jump in with both feet for sure, man. I'm just angry because of my landlord. There's a reason my apartment complex has a 2.0 star rating. Oh, dude, I'm sorry about that. That sucks, man. I've had great landlords, and I've had some that are just like straight out of hell. So I sorry, I sympathize with you, man. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, good. So now we're coming back to life here. So I have the latest and greatest build. And I'll try this one more time, and if not, then I will try and tackle this offline and figure out what's going on. So I got the Android, I got the PC, so fire this up. Fire this up. They're connecting, and it still says searching. Oh, what the heck? Just when I think I'm done, man, my game errors pull me back in. Ah, that sucks. Okay. It's saying the variable red launcher of game control has not been assigned, which means that the exchange of data isn't getting across for whatever reason. So let me check where it was on here. Let's see the incoming selected. So it looks like it sends the data. But, alright guys, that's just broken. Sorry about that. So let me just take this back off again. And I will shut Mr. Android tablet down because that's just not going to work. And that's totally broken. Okay. Alright, not as done as I thought I was. What's new? Let's see. I'm considering hard surface modeling for a game idea I have. Basically, some level design also. The hardest part will be the coding. That I absolutely relate to. Absolutely relate to. But no, cool, dude. Go for it. Absolutely. I can't remember if we talked about what kind of... Oz. Yay, my favorite game developer's on the air. How's it going, Oz? Thanks for coming. So, Neo Tokyo, I don't know, did you tell me what kind of actual 3D programming you're thinking about using? I don't know if you told me that. But, oh, okay, so also I forgot to show this off. Dude, guess what? So, if you were here Monday, you remember I was struggling with trying to get all the icon stuff set up, right? Well, check this out, dude. It's done. Look at this, man. So, you have, a couple different things, right? These I've already unlocked, right? Boom, boom. This one, in theory, I've actually earned all the cards. So you can see the little terminology. It says can be purchased, but don't got enough coins yet, right? And then this one, oh, nope, you need 4 cards. And then for these, down here, I haven't unlocked the character yet. So in this case, it'll tell you, oh, you need to recruit the villager before you can access those icons. So that kind of pushes you into the idea of coming back over into the villagers and unlocking her. Excuse me. So once you unlock those characters, then you get access to unlocking their icons as well. Let's see. Sometimes I have great ideas for games and smart ways to program it, but I find the assets on the store and none of them fit. End up ruining my mood for the game. It's not one thing, it's another. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm kind of the same way too, because I will look, when I do my prototypes, I will frequently use pre-existing stuff that I already have. Sorry about that, guys. I got a little dry cough going. I had a buddy that jokes about Las Vegas. Las Vegas does everything in its power to kill you. So, I don't have a cold, but it's just like that. Sometimes the air makes me cough sometimes. Icons look great. States look completed, though, if I'm right. Yeah, absolutely, dude. This is not broke. I'm thrilled at the fact that this is all dialed in, and so that's, it is no longer my to-do list. My to-do list, which I thought was now down to one thing, but let's see. I gotta add this now. If I can type. Online Android game airing out. Okay, so I thought I had one item left, but looks like I got 2. But excuse me, the key major component that I still needed to add, aside from that bug that we just discovered, which I will track down offline because that's going to get really tedious with the Android. The one thing I need to do now is work out the formula for how often and how I structure you actually winning cards when you play a random match. So that's what I need to work on. What I want to do initially, and I know a lot of games do this, right? When you first play a game, you automatically get one unlock. So I want to unlock her, right? So and that's why she's so inexpensive compared to the other guys, is I want you to get a quick start and get into the habit and knowledge of how you can unlock other characters. Excuse me. Answering your question, I've used Blender before. If you have any suggestions, don't hesitate. No, dude, Blender, I was just talking about this the other day. Blender is a fine way to get started. If I was starting off in this time, I would definitely be jumping all over Blender. I use Lightwave for my modeling just because I've been using Lightwave for literally over 20 years now. So it's just, I know it. excuse me, I know it so well, so it's just so much easier for me to work with Lightwave. But no dig on Blender, man. If you can get, the only caveat is that I think its interface, because it's open source, can get a little wonky sometimes, but if you can get over that learning curve of the interface, I think it's a fine choice. The art style of everything in your game fits. It's actually great. Oh, USAG, man, thank you so much, buddy. Thanks. It has been an evolutionary process, as I said. So, and then ultimately what I want to do, too, is by default, you get this Middle Ages theme. But that over time, if the game has any success, then I'm going to come back and add new island themes that you can also unlock. So just because you get all this content doesn't mean you've run out of stuff to do. So I'll have, like, you know, I've the last couple of years I've been doing conventions where I put the game out there and I say, what kind of island do you want? And I've been writing down all the suggestions. You know, the top ones, of course, are pirates and ninjas. Those are always big winners. You know, followed closely by Spider-Man, which I have to tell him, it's like, sorry, can't do Spider-Man. I don't have the rights. But I want to do islands like that. You know, I want to do one that's like an alien planet island. I want to do like an 8-bit version island. That'd be kind of cool, very retro looking. You know, future military, all these different kind of motifs, you know. So if the game has any level of success, I will definitely be adding new islands. But by myself, they take a couple of months just to produce each island. So you can see why I'm not trying to do that on this initial release. No cyborgs and aliens? No, there would be. There would actually be in a whole alien island, right? You know? And aliens versus robots. I think that'd be, you know, cool ideas. Thank you, Oz. Thank you so much, buddy. And yeah, and I'm sure you guys have seen this by now, but you also can just customize the island as you like. Let's see. How would a Spider-Man island even work? You know, well, I mean, in fairness, these are like, Gunner knows this. One of the conventions I do is one here in Vegas called Level Up Expo. Fantastic expo. And, you know, so some of the kids that are playing this are younger kids, you know, and of course they've just witnessed all their favorite comics and all the, you know, the toys and stuff that go along with it. So it's not too surprising when I say, you know, what kind of island would you like to see? And they go, Spider-Man. I want it Spider-Man. He would have like a spider slingshot or something, I guess. I don't know. But, I mean, it's cute, you know. But, yeah, I mean, I have a list of at least 15 items, you know, for different island themes. So I would not run out there at all, for sure. But first I got to figure out why that Android error pops up. That's really bugging me now. Because you see, I mean, it's running fine when I'm just running PC to PC. The real battle would be the lawsuit from Fox and Disney. Yeah, we were having a discussion too. I have one of the guys that hangs out here has been bugging me that he wants Odin characters, and I was saying that, you know, but Odin, you know that's obviously Thor, right? And Thor is Disney, and Disney is scary, you know. So. And then his point is that Odin is, you know, a mythological character that's been around for forever. But yeah, that's true. But that still won't stop Disney from coming after me with lawyers. So Odin might be out for a while, you know, unless I told him, it's like, if you can get Disney to give me permission, then I'll make you an Odin Island, you know. Yeah, and it has to be distinct from the Disney one. I agree. But to me, that is really walking on thin ice, man. You're rolling the dice on that. You know, I mean, that's theorizing that the game is going to be a big enough success that it would actually, you know, get their attention. But, you know, and I hope it does, you know, get big enough. But I really don't want to risk that. Peter Parker and Spider-Man, that's strictly out of the comic books. Odin isn't. Totally different color palette, etc., etc. Yeah. Yep. But, yeah, there's a ton of different island themes that I'm looking forward to adding if the game finds its audience. And that's the key if, man. You know, because once this wraps, I start work on the next project, which I'm supposed to have a prototype done by Comic-Con, which is in July. So I'm anxious to get started on that one. And that's one I keep hinting at, and I'm sorry, I'm a total tease, I know it. But that next game is going to be using a very, very famous intellectual property. And that's another reason, too, is I'm trying to keep this one completely clean because the next one will be very famous character. And, you know, that will bring more attention to my company. So I'm just being overly protective. It's a lazy ripoff of Anthony Hopkins as Odin, of course. Yeah, yeah, the patch and the yeah, not gonna do that, man. Not gonna roll those dice. All right. So I guess what I need to do too is just let me just think about how I'm gonna approach this one last major task I have to do, which is rewarding you with cards when the game is over. So what I was thinking of, and you guys can offer your thoughts on this if you want, for sure, is so if you look at all the different things you can unlock, right? When you play random matches, right now in my head, I'm going to randomize the number. So I'm going to say like every 3 to 5 random matches that you play, right? And you can either do a random match here or you can play a friend. But if you play a random match, every 3 to 5 matches that you play, and you don't have to win, you can win or lose, this will happen, you get rewarded a card, right? And an unlock card. And the unlock card can go towards either icons, right? You can see like the 0-4 right there. Or it can go towards the villagers, right? And you can see these have their locks right now. And it can also go to the launchers and unlock these guys, right? And I will probably weight it more towards the cards, and then the villagers, and then the launchers over time. Clash Royale, basically. Yes and no. I mean, because I'm not making you wait to unlock that stuff. The reason I'm adding this is, and I'll explain it, because what I don't want is someone to just go in and buy a mess of coins, right? Just buy a ton of coins and then just come through and then just unlock everything instantly because the game's over, right? You know, and once again, this doesn't really change the game performance. This is not something where you can unlock these characters and you're playing 10 times better than anyone else. No, these changes are super minor. This is much more of a cosmetic thing. But it's also something that I want you to feel like you're earning, right? Through playing the game, right? So this sort of like, you know, cajoles you into playing more matches online, right? You know, and also part of it is me selfishly trying to make sure that you guys come online and play games, you know? So there's other people for you to play. But, so that's what I'm doing. And then it's not one of those things where when you get the card, you instantly get it. It's not one of those things that's like, you know, hey, this card will unlock, you know, in an hour or a day or 12 years from now. Or pay me coins and you can unlock this card now. That's not what I'm doing, right? When I reward you with a card, boom, it's yours. It's done, right? So once you grab it, it's instant payoff, right? So that, I think, is also significantly different, you know. I'm not doing any kind of random loot boxes. I'm not doing anything where you have to pay and you don't know what you're getting, right? So in my case, this one, you always know exactly what you're getting. If that makes sense. So, but what I want to do also is not just make it a fixed number. I want it to kind of randomize. And I thought 3 to 5 was a... Yeah, you see? Okay, cool. Yeah, and I mean, call me out. If you guys think I'm off on something, please. I've been having a great time how Supercell has monetized Brawl Stars differently than Clash Royale. How FTP business has evolved. Great time analyzing. Oh, yeah, how... Yeah. That's cool. Okay, well, you know what? I'll pick your brain on that, man. If you make it out to the Unity meeting, I'll definitely pick your brain. Otherwise, at the IGDA, I will analyze what you found. I don't think I'm gonna like change horses at this point since I'm like everything's in place. But I would love to know, at least for future games, for sure. But so yeah, I think every 3 to 5 random matches garners you a new card. I think that's a fair number, right? And I think that's what I'm going to go with. You know, excuse me. So that way it just, you know, there's stuff to keep. And that's my key thing, is that I want there to be future rewards, right? I would love to add a ton of new things like, you know, arena tournament modes, you know, kind of tasks, you know, and missions and that kind of stuff. But I had to draw a line in the sand in terms of, you know, you know, that's a feature creep thing, and I am a one-person developing team, so I have to look at those as things that I would love to add in the future if time permits and if the user base permits. But for at least initially, what I need is this sort of artificial tool with this play mechanic that gives people incentive to keep playing to unlock new content, right? Excuse me. So. And then what something also added on Monday was that, I mean, one thing I'd love to go back and add after the fact is a single player campaign mode too, you know, but that would be a ton. of work and new art, new assets, and new kind of gameplay mechanics. So that will be out for at least, for the initial release. That will not be happening. All right. So that's what I think I'm going to go with that. I think I'm going to go with the idea of every 3 to 5. And then it's going to start off with, let's see. So I'm going to try it this way. So I go, where am I? I'm in game controller. Let's say game over. Let me bounce down to where I need to go here. There it goes. All right, so we're going to hit game over, and then we're going to say if we're in a online game, which I can actually do it right here. If we're in an online game, I'll just add it to this one. I have a couple places where the online game search pops up, but I'll just do it on this one. So I'll say update icon count, and I'm using not player preferences, but crypto player preferences. So that way, with standard player preferences, the data is just stored generically. With crypto, at least does a little bit of encryption to it. So in theory, it protects the data a little bit more than normal. I mean, I'm sure it's still hackable, but at least it makes it a bigger challenge. All right, so let's go. Let's call this int current card count. Are you planning on hiring someone? Yeah, I would love to. You probably know better, but there are communities at Facebook and Reddit for portfolios and job opportunities. Same for marketing and promotion. And dude, I totally agree, man. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing the game development for a decade now, and I've been doing animation for 20 years. So I have a Rolodex, a proverbial Rolodex, filled with friends and people that I trust. But, see, there's this one terrible catch. People like to get paid, me included. So until I actually get, a game that's successful enough. I mean, the way I work now is, as I mentioned, I still get animation freelance jobs. There's one that's going to come up in a couple weeks, too. I'll have to stop down again and work on that. But the animation jobs subsidize what I'm doing right now, right? So I'm able to sit here and plug away in a game that I've not finished, because the animation stuff has paid the bills and keeps the heat on, which is good because I'm in Vegas, but it is cold today, man. It's like in the 30s. So keeping the heat on is a good thing. So I'm in a situation where my finances subsidize myself, right? But I'm not quite at the point where it would subsidize me and other individuals, and I know it's a bit of a catch-22, right? I mean, if I had people on, then the game would be done faster, and it would be out there faster and generating revenue sooner if the game succeeds. I look like a super professional, though. Oh, thank you. I fake it very well. Thank you. That's very kind. But, hey, look at that. Fitzuli. Fitzuli did a follow. Thank you so much, Fitzuli. Oh, there it goes. It's just a little tardy. Thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate it. And welcome. Welcome. I do now. It's not that I'm broke, right? I mean, I do have some cash, right? And I'm using that, like I said, to pay the bills. But the company money that I have, my Scary Robot, I have my personal account, my Scary Robot account. My Scary Robot account, there is some money in there, and I do want to use that on promotion, right? Whether or not I'm going to use it just on Facebook ads and the standard advertisement, or if I'm going to go nuts and actually hire a PR service to do it much better than I can, I'm still not deciding on that. I'm going to wait until I put this out in beta and start getting some feedback and try and get a better sense of what I think the game's potential is. And if I think the game is going to do really well, then I may go so far as to actually do PR services. If not, then I'll try and do the PR stuff myself, which has always been a terrible thing for me. So in other words, it's kind of a foolish idea, but it's kind of where I'm going. Excuse me. One would think you're a CEO of a studio or something upon first look. Well, I got the age. I'm old enough to be a CEO, but maybe not exactly the hands-on true experience. But yeah, thank you. Same here with film. People want some incentive as to help with projects. Sucks because I wrote for free for a while. Yeah, and I've done that too. I've done animation on passion projects, with friends that have helped it, but generally speaking, and that's fair. People have to eat, I think the difference is, oh, wait, I'm sorry, I missed this one too. Oh, I get it. You can join these communities for promoting, for example, this one, in the game promo. Yep, I'm a member of that one. Yes, I am a member of that. And I think I've actually posted in there before, like eons ago. But yeah, I think that's a good start. It's a smaller scale, but I think indie game promo on Facebook is definitely a viable choice. Excuse me. So, yeah, I have no qualms. I have no issue with people wanting to get paid. I think that's only right, I think the trade-off, the where you can kind of bend those rules is if you do look at, kids that are coming out of school, right? That at that point I call it mutual exploitation, right? They have no history. They have no pedigree. They haven't established themselves. They need some content to put on the reel, right? And you need inexpensive talent. And because you guys are making use of each other, right? Now, the catch there is because they're not getting paid or getting paid very little, they can flake on you, right? And, maybe they were doing stuff in school that they were not able to do proficiently in the world, right? So you're rolling the dice, right? You never know if you're going to have, someone that's going to do fantastic work. And once they do, then they have every right to leave you and go get a decent paying job, So that's why I call it mutual exploitation. At least that's my take on it. Again, I'd be happy to help with the PR stuff. Yeah, Gunner, we will be talking, dude. I promise. I used to get paid to do it, but I do it for free, reasonable extent as a friend. Won't take advantage of you, man. We'll figure something out. But yeah, we'll be talking soon on that. Gunner's my buddy here in Vegas, so I will definitely be hitting him up. Thanks, Gunner. Thank you again. Real friends or just mutual people from networking. I never made real friends in the industry. Yeah, absolutely, dude. That's, I don't miss Los Angeles. I'm sorry for all my friends that are in LA. I don't miss it. I was happy to leave, but I love to go back to LA. I went back, if you guys go watch my older streams on YouTube, you'll see I was in LA for a month and doing this broadcast from a game center. I love going back because I get to hang out with all my old visual effects friends, and I miss them, man. I really miss hanging out with those guys. But so yeah, I have a bunch of friends, at least more on the visual effects side. The game design, the game maker side, not as much, because Vegas is a smaller community. But Gunner and people like that, I've made friends with, and they're great, man. They're absolutely great. Whom will step on your neck for first chance at a success? That's funny. Gunner is a very cool guy. You say he works for the IGDA. No, he is the guy that created the Vegas branch here. So he runs the IGDA here in Las Vegas. I clarify that. Fitzully, or steal your game, you gotta watch who you let see all the inner workings, the ideas, and put a lot of thought into. Fair enough, man. I agree. And part of me is kind of like, and that's part of the reason why I've not really shown the game up until now, right? I mean, this is, a year and a half worth of development stretched over 3 years, but it will get cloned. If the game is a success in any way, shape, or form, it will get cloned, and it will, if it's like a mini clip, or as I said before, a king or something, they'll destroy me. They'll make this beautiful thing that is 10 million times better than mine, right? And I accept that's going to happen, and that's fine. My thing is that I want to be first to market, right? And then have a decent start. And if I get blown out of the water by everyone after the fact, then yeah, so be it. At least hopefully I have a good run before then. Imlight, hey, how's it going, Imlight? Just tuned in. Random guy from Rome. So what is exactly you're doing right now? I will give you a quick demo. Welcome, by the way, Imlight. So this is a mobile game. We'll also maybe come out desktop. Sort of like Angry Birds meets Battleship, right? That's lucky then. Gotta weed out so many fakes. It's stressful. Yeah, I agree. Here, let me go full screen so you guys can see this better. So I say Angry Birds, and the reason why is because the targeting system, kind of similar to Angry Birds, right? You drag your finger back, and the objective here is you're actually aiming for the bouncing buildings. But you see it's real time. That's the first interesting fact of this. It's on Google Play right now. I'll post a link in just a second here. I have a beta version on Google Play. So let me go through here. So the objective, you're taking out the bouncing buildings, because the bouncing buildings power the force field. So Oh, and I'm missing. Look at this, guys. I'm playing terrible at my own game. So if I take out all these buildings, the force field goes down, hit the catapult, and it's game over. Now, right now, he's trying to hit that power up, that green arrow, which would make all his villagers go twice as fast. And I'm ignoring it. So right now, he's rebuilding faster, and he's actually firing faster. So he sent out villagers to repair buildings. Now, by doing that, he only has 2 guys left on his catapult, right? So his reload times will be slowed down because of that. But he had that power up, which actually gave him a big boost anyways. So there he goes. Got one more, and then we'll finish him off. Like that. Here we go. And the stop sign. Here, I'll hit that. This one's kind of funny. You hit this one. Boom. And you see the other guys are snoozing for 15 seconds. So he's just stuck. He can do nothing. He just has to watch me just destroy him. There it is. Game over. So that, in a nutshell, brief nutshell, is what Volley Village is all about. Online multiplayer. That's the structure of it. It's still alpha. It's closer to beta, I'd like to say. I hope. Just don't want it getting cloned before it comes out and everyone thinks you're the clone. It could happen, but at least I have video evidence that shows I was here originally. The Google Play version at the moment, I mean. I gotta work on that VV clone myself. Odin's Fury. That's great. Guess if you're streaming, if you have proof that it's yours first. Yeah, exactly. So there you go. If it's on YouTube, it has to be true. If someone makes a similar game in a different style, it's fair game, though. Dude, I totally agree, man. I'm much more the mindset of, as long as they don't just completely rip me off, right? I mean, by rip me off, I mean they don't steal my art assets. If they don't steal my art assets and they make their own version of it, go to town, guys. I have no qualms with that. I'd be flattered, honestly. Just as long as I can make some money before you guys shoot past me. That's all I ask for. Pretty much the first thing you learn in the game industry is that ideas are very, very cheap. Amen. There is no job for the ideas guy. Everyone wants to be. Everyone has more of their own ideas than they'll ever live long enough to make. No one really cares about those ideas in production. Yes, you are not a perfect, unique snowflake, right? Let's get some let's get some Fight Club reference in there. On mobile, successful apps do get cloned, though usually to little to no avail. But generally, no one cares about anyone else's ideas. It's all about execution. Ideas don't mean anything. And dude, preaching to the choir, buddy. Gunnar, I totally agree with that. But then we talked about that before too. So yes. Do I fear getting cloned? No, I don't fear it. Do I expect it? Yes and no. If the game is a success, then I will say absolutely. If the game falls flat on its face and never finds an audience, then no. Generally people don't clone failures. So, if I get cloned, that means I did something right. And that's fine. The thing about what I got now is, I'm getting close to going to market. Right? So if anyone wants to clone me, if they want to clone me now, it's going to take them a little while to reverse engineer all the crap I've done. So, because I haven't exactly thrown all my code on the screen, right? Bits of it here and there, but not much in terms of the full game. So there's still a ton of stuff that you'd have to, reverse engineer that I've tweaked over the last several years, So I still have that advantage going for me. I would work for you for free if I had the time, but I'm afraid I am not qualified for your project. Even at our company, it took 1 month to me get used to the project. Well, Oz, thank you so much for the flattery, dude. You want to help me? The thing I ask for is just support once the game is out, right? If you guys really, really want to help me, just help be my base support. So once the game gets out there, hey, Nerdit is here. Welcome, Nerdit. How's it going, man? So once the game is out, alert the neighbors, tell your friends, leave a 5-star review, please. Yes, that kind of stuff. Excuse me. That is the thing that's going to be most helpful. That is the area that I'm going to be in most need of, is just getting the word out. Imlite, what is the program you're using to make the game? I am using Unity. It's kind of small up in the corner. Generally speaking, people either fall in the category of Unity, Unreal. I've been using the Unity game engine for over a decade now. Still not a perfect coder. I've never been trained to code, so it's just self-taught. And then for those with a super eagle eye, if they can look, I don't know if the resolution presents it, but I'm still using the older version of Unity 5.6, mainly because I've been developing in this game for so many years, and I'm still a pro licensee of the earlier Unity 5.6, so I have not made the upgrade up to 2018. I did for a moment because I thought I had to, but it was a nightmare, and I moved back down. So, you know, the next game that I work on will be in Unity 2018 land. I will be upgrading to that, but for this guy, I'm gonna finish him in 5.6. And when I have to do updates, I'm gonna try and stay in 5.6 land, but I'll probably have to migrate up to 2018 at some point. All right, just fair warning, I might get attacked here in the very near future. Don't get shocked if I. Oh, no. Here it comes. By that time it'll be Unity. By that time it'll be Unity 2020. The way I'm going, I went from 17 to last week. You are not entitled to. No, actually, because. Yes, hello. Yes, you're stealing my spotlight. I get that. Yes, okay. Yes, I know you love the attention. Yes, I know. Yes. Package manager. Yeah, it's sort of like an expedited tool. Okay. Are we done? Yes. Yeah, so with Unity 5.6, yeah, you have a full license, but if I go up to 2018, then I have to get the subscription service. So unfortunately, the Pro does not translate to the 2018. Okay, thank you. Okay, you can go now. Thank you. Finally, we get to see some action. Yep, that's my Penny. She's a nutty dog. She loves the attention. Okay. You look like Jim Carrey. Hey, I haven't heard that since Monday. I don't know, maybe it's something to do with my lighting. Maybe it's the way I'm lighting myself. But yes, M-Light, you're not the first person to actually mention that. So, yeah, I do, yes, I do get that. But as I won't go back to this whole diatribe, but as we talked on Monday, I like to think that I look like the 1990s Jim Carrey and not the old grizzled Jim Carrey of today. So hopefully you'll throw me that bone. Okay. So, anyways, so that's in a nutshell. That's Volley Village. Oh, I forgot. You can also, there's a level editor, so you can actually customize where the buildings are and put everything exactly the way you want it. So I hope that's a good rundown. What I was hopefully going to get started with is, oh yeah, we were coming in here. So if is equal to int, and we'll say how do I want to do this? I'm going to call this current card count. I guess I can call it that. Why not? Let's see. If you guys are familiar with Twitch, he actually looks like an older Summit 1G. Okay, I'll have to look that one up. You look iconic, Jim Carrey. Not what you get when you Google his name now. I have people constantly tell me that I look like an Italian actor. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, it could be worse, you know. I don't know. Maybe I don't see it. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's better than going, you know, you look just like Marty Feldman, right? Yeah. If you don't know who Marty Feldman is, definitely try Googling that. That's the. Sorry, I got dog fur floating in the air here. Look at this. Petting my dog, and now she's molting. So now I'm not snowing inside my house. It's actually just dog fur floating. Young Jim Carrey, yes. I always say that. Yes. So I am in a very old, young-looking Jim Carrey. So I got that going for me, which is nice. So as I mentioned before, if all this, you know, if the animation work dries up and if the games all bomb, I can go back to Hollywood and walk on Hollywood Boulevard dressed up as Ace Ventura for photos for $5 a piece. I always have that to look forward to, right, guys? Okay. So, let's see. Hope that actor isn't Sylvester Stallone. He's ugly. Yeah. Those voice cracks are really getting. Live stream it. Come out of. Wow. Okay. What is the frame rate in a battle? We have only 2D sprites and some lightings and cookies, and barely see 120 in a mid-high PC. Your optimization of game looks way better than ours. That's a good question. I'll show you real quick. No, this is actually a Peppy PC too. This is running on an i7 with a 1080 video card. But, excuse me. So, yeah, I'm running at about, look at that. I'm running near 200 frames a second, which is nice. For me, the key thing was just doing a lot of batching. Anything that I could batch dynamically, obviously gets batched. I'm all the island, all the buildings are working off of the same atlas. So my draw calls, here, I'll show you this if you're curious. Not that you're going to be able to see it too well. Here, but, so I have 75 batches, and my draw call, my set passes, actually they're 98. That's a little high, but it's still okay. Luca Argento. I don't know that one. Love the squishy animation feels. Show them the magic behind the buildings. Oh, okay, yeah. So the buildings were all 2D sprites, right? And I have them all consolidated. Let's see, where did it go? Where are you? Really? It don't want to show it? Okay. So blue buildings. Nope. Where's my buildings? My buildings. Really? It doesn't want to show my... Okay. But these are all on the same atlas, right? And that's the key thing, is that by throwing them all on the same atlas, I drop the draw call significantly. Excuse me. 2D, 2D. My illusion is broken. So funny story though. Originally, when I first introduced the characters, I had them as 2D sprites as well, right? And it was just animating through the sprite sheet, and it was limited poses. There's only about 7, like the run cycle was like 5 frames, right? And the frame rate was not pretty. So just for the fun of it, I decided to find out what would happen is if I swapped out the sprites for 3D characters to find out how much of a frame rate hit I would take if I did the characters 3D. I did it, and turns out my frame rate went up. So I guess it was because I was swapping through all the different, all the characters. The sprite sheet was cycling through, combined with the alpha. It just killed the frame rate. So ironically, going to 3D characters boosted frame rate. Let's see. Are they billboarded sprites? No, they're not. Billboard in the sense that they rotate the camera? No, only because I never rotate the camera. So I don't bother doing any kind of front-facing looking for the camera. Not necessary, because the camera doesn't ever move. We use the same magic for 3D feeling. Yeah, and it's just, it's a fantastic trade-off, you know. The nice thing about, I'm even if I went back and actually did true polygon shapes, it may not be a big hit, but it may. And see, because I have all this motion on these guys that are doing the bouncing, you know, and then, I mean, just all these edges too, I would have to build all those out in polygons. So it would really, like, shoot my polygon count through the roof, I think. So this was a good trade-off, you know. Anything that rotates around, right, has to be 3D. The sharks, the catapult, the characters, anything that ever faces the camera the whole time, like the crate is a perfect example. The crate is a 2D thing, right? So that will always be just a sprite. So, kind of a trade-off there. You don't know how many people think it's 3D. That's the beauty of Cam's perspective. Exactly. I tricked you with the 3D illusion. Oh, that's cool. Good. Good. Well, that was the objective. I mean, it is definitely a combination of working on the angle and perspective, trying to make sure that that works right. I mean, you can see that the buildings, you notice that the buildings aren't 90, right? I actually rotate the buildings down to match the angle of the camera, at least somewhat. So it's like 58, right? So that's, yeah. So 58, so it's 90 down to 58, so that's what, 5, 6, 7, 32 degrees. So if we come up to my camera, main camera, right, and you see the camera is rotated at 30 degrees. So the camera is at this angle, and I take all my sprites and rotate it like that, so it has a face-on kind of feel to it. And that is why you see that. So the tricky thing was actually coming up with the collision boxes for these guys too, right? Because I had to make sure, let's say colliders. There you go. So I had to get really creative with the colliders because, you know, it's more of a guesstimate, right? So if you look at it this way, the colliders look completely wrong, right? But if you look at it from the perspective, right, the true calculated perspective, we're pretty much there, right? And, you know, once again, it's kind of hard to see from the editor view, but the key thing is if it feels like it's always hitting the building and it doesn't feel like it's missing and it doesn't feel like it gives you a cheap hit. Those are the two things that I was trying to work on, and I think it's a good balance. The explosions use additive blending or just animation. Additive blending for the explosions. Those are pre-made particles. Those ones actually bought in the store. I tweaked them a bit, right? So there's some stuff there, but here I'll show you. Is this one comes down and it hits. Come down here. When it hits, like boom, there. So, excuse me. Yeah, they're particles. Just additive particles. Excuse me. Would it be okay if I ask your opinion on my game? Oh, please, dude. Vice 7. Welcome, by the way. Vice 7? Hey. Yeah, no, dude. I'm happy to... In the same way that I take all feedback on my game, I'm happy to offer my feedback on others as well. So, I was amazed when learned about additive blending. Applying it is so basic and create various results with it. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Here we go. Check it out. This is Vice. Oh, dude, look at that, man. Nice. I like the 2D style, that kind of toon shaded, but you have the nice round rotating world too. Looks great, man. I like your style too. You got that quasi pixelated, sort of 8-bit, 16-bit kind of look to it. Nice, man. Yeah, looks good, buddy. I'd say you're off to a great start, man. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure you have a ton of way to go on it, but I'd say what you have right now is a fantastic start. Yeah, I like the eye follows too. That's a nice touch. Yeah, dude, looks great, man. Keep going. Absolutely. This pin animation looks so great. Yeah. Vice 7. Great work. There you go, man. See, look at that. Not just me saying it. You got other people commenting as well. Great work. Absolutely, guys. All right. Let's see. Reminds me of Hyper Light Drifter. Yep, keep at it. There you go, dude. I consider that a cross the board thumbs up. Keep going. Very cool. Very cool. All right, so I guess what I need is, so I have this get int. All right, so by default value should be say 1, because we're gonna do this, and we say let's say current count -1. We'll say you know what? Actually, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to toss this. The default value be -1, and that will be my flag. If it sees a -1, that means that, oh, hey, we've never done this before, so we need to unlock the female warrior character, because she only has that one card unlock. So if I have that -1 flag, so I can do it as if current count equals -1, then it's unlock female warrior. Otherwise, just do something else. Are you working with a publisher on Valley Village? I'm not. I'm not. I've talked to a couple just casually, but nothing's really come from it. I think part of it is also because the game has evolved tremendously over the last couple of years that I've been working on it. So no, I don't really have a good answer on why I haven't pursued it. I guess because maybe just because I've been doing this for 10 years, and this is my 6th title that I've worked on, and I've released the other ones without a publisher. You know, and I guess a part of it too is because I don't know if you guys have different experiences, but when I've talked to publishers, the first thing they'll look at you and they say, "Oh, so what's your DAU?" And it's like, wait. You mean you're asking me for my daily active users on a game I haven't released yet? And it's like, no. What's your DAU for your previous games? And it's like, what relevance is that? I mean, you know, you're not releasing my old games, right? So, you know, that's like saying, you know, what did your last movie make? You know, I mean, we're talking about this game, you know. We're talking about the potential of this game. So I guess that's kind of where I've sort of shut down before, is when we get in the conversation of, you know, what is your user base and, you know, how much are your current games making? It's like, well, that's not really relevant as far as I'm concerned, you know. So I guess that's part of the reason why I haven't really been a big proponent of chasing down a publisher. Let's see. Can you check out my website? It's not a game, but it's a games library. Sure, man. Post it up, man. I'll throw it up here on the screen. I am all for... you guys are hanging out with me, so I have no problem throwing out some free publicity for you. For all 9 current viewers. And whoever comes along and watches the video after we're done here. So, yeah, throw it up, man. I'll share it. Let's see. Maybe they're just trying to make sure your experience is valid or you've been successful before, like a safety check. Maybe. Connect with games. Alright. Here's Canadian Sean. Let's see what we got here. Nice. Okay, so tell me what I'm looking at. These are all games that you've worked on, or games that you've created art content for? Clarify that for me. All they care about is how much money and attention you're bringing in. Numbers. All about numbers. That is why the path you took with indie game development is good. Don't let someone buy you out and suck the passion out of you. Yeah, and that is another caveat, is as soon as you do sign with the publisher, you now have another voice in the room, right? That's telling you, you know, oh, that's great, but this is why it's wrong, you know? It's sort of like, just a games library from other people. All right, so then tell me what I should be hunting for here, buddy. Just across all games, PC, etc. All right. So give me a rundown. So tell me about Connect with Games specifically, because I'm not quite following yet. But yeah, so with publishers, that's the thing. You know, I mean, there's a old movie with Kevin Bacon called The Big Picture, directed by Christopher Guest, and he's just out of film school, and he's going to make his passion project, and he's describing it to him, and he says, they're like, you know, it takes place in a cabin up in the mountains. They go, oh, I can see the beautiful green vistas, and he goes, oh, no, I'm gonna shoot the movie in black and white. And the people all around him go, oh, no. And he's like, what? And he goes, oh, no, you can't do that now. The movie projectors aren't designed to play black and white movies anymore. So, you know, once you bring on a publisher, right, or any kind of thing, you will have other voices telling you that you can't make your movie in black and white anymore, right? So there is that catch as well. Unless there's a lot of money, just sell it and make another company. Yeah, I have no qualms with that, too. You know, if someone was to buy Scary Robot from me, you know, am I allowed to link my game's Discord? Yeah, sure. Do it. I have no qualms with that. You know what? I'll do the same, too. Let me throw this up here. If you guys want to give a shout to me offline, let me do this. There is my Discord. So come on over and join my server. I'm always accessible offline on Discord. To help people help new games, and eventually I'll have links to all the sources you can buy it from. Excuse me. Oh, cool. So it's just a resource website. Gotcha. That's cool, man. And all the shameless plugs. Hey, you know what? You guys are hanging out with me, so I got no issue with that whatsoever. You know, I do the same, too. If someone gave me the opportunity, I have no qualms going, oh, wait. I can talk about the games? Here, look. I do that, man. I got on my phone, right? If anyone says, so what do you do? Oh, here, let me show you, you know. So, so yeah, absolutely. All right. So we're gonna go current count minus minus if current count is less than or equals 0. I'm gonna make that, it should be just a 0 value, right? Because you're counting it down to 0, but in case something screwed up and I missed it, I'm gonna make it less than, just to make sure. If it's that, then we need to time to unlock a new card. There it goes. Game over online. Oh wait. Yeah, that's an online game. Correct. I love to see what other people are up to. Yeah, me too, man. Me as well. As long as you don't come off as a car salesman in person, I understand. Yeah, there's definitely a fine line. You know, you have to work in a conversation, right? I mean, I've known, especially in Hollywood, dude. I spent 12 years in Hollywood, and there are the Hollywood types that will force themselves in any conversation, right? And it's kind of like, you know, you're talking about, you know, oh, did you hear about that earthquake? That was like, oh my God, I just read the news. And then someone comes up and goes, speaking of earthquake, dude, have you seen what I was producing over here? Look at the, you know, it's like, wait, what? You know, those people drive me nuts. I've been so bad about commenting my code. Yeah, you see me, man. This is a rarity, you know, when I'm actually doing this, just because I got to, you know, come back and revisit it. But, yeah. But yeah, generally speaking, yeah, there's basically no code, no commenting going on anywhere. That's part of the reason why it takes me forever to find my stuff. It's kind of like, wait, why does it do this? You know, and it's like, can I delete this, or will this just absolutely break everything in the entire game? I always promise myself I'm going to be better about that, but I never do. Mainly I do this just so I can actually find it, just by searching. You know, I can just do a search and just come back to this code faster. Alright, so then we need to unlock the card there, and then I got to figure out how to do that. And then what I'll do then is I will set this back up and make this big again. Did you hear about that ship that went down? By the way, did you see my Titanic game? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a tragedy, man. Yeah, there was like all those tourists. Speaking of tourists on the boat, did you hear about my Titanic game? Do you have a good way of like bookmarking in Visual Studio? Bookmarking code. I'm sure there is some way. You know, I literally do it normally with like this, with the term I use, right? You know, I mean, like, I'll do like congrats. So I can find, you know, there. Congrats, you were rewarded. So this is my idea of sort of bookmarking. I'm sure there is. There's probably real coders in here that can tell you a fantastic way to bookmark. But I honestly, I don't know myself. It would probably be a wise idea to have some list of bookmarks that I can just bounce between my areas faster. But I'm so used to just searching off of the, and I mean, it wasn't until I saw someone do it that I went, oh, you can actually go in and do that thing where you just right click and say, go to definition. That was a godsend. I didn't even know about that until just a few months ago. That's fantastic. It's kind of like I would find it and then I have to go remember where it was and figure out who it was referencing, and I would go to the proper script and I would search down for it, and it's like, no, if you just hit here and go to definition, boom, done. It's like, oh crap, that's awesome. You know, and oh, by the way, one cheat I use too, I'm sure you guys probably aware of this too, but so if you got like a situation where you're typing here, right, and then, you know, you're like way down here and you're off, right, and you want to go back to where you were, my shortcut is I undo redo, right? So I just hit undo redo, and that snaps you back into place and deletes whatever you had mistyped before. So that's my little trick way of getting back to where I should be. So, but I'm sure you guys probably know that one. Alright, so he's not going to be equal to -1. We're going to set this to cool. Yeah. That was me just out of frustration. I actually did it by accident the first time, right? I just hit undo and I snap back and it's kind of like, oh, I'm remembering that. Okay. That's not the last time I'm using that. I do it all the time too, where I'll just hit a button by accident and go like way off somewhere else. And then just, oh, there we go. I can snap back into place. Okay. So set in, so what I'm going to do here is go random range. Oops. Oh, why does it always come up like that? Okay. So I'm going to say a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 5. And of course, you guys probably know this, and this one drove me nuts for the longest time. Excuse me. With random range, if you use a int, right, then this value, it'll never hit, right? So it never hits 6. So this is really like saying random range between 3 and 5. If this was like 0.0 f, then it will hit the 6 value, right? So that was one, for the longest time, I couldn't figure out why I was not getting certain values. And then I finally found out random range works that way. That one bit me for a while. So, okay. So the card, we've done enough random matches. So now the card's going to get shown. And then we're going to set the card count back up to a random number of 3 to 5. I think that's good. So every 3 to 5 random matches, a new card will come out. So now I got to actually figure out which card I want to do. This is where it's going to get a little more complex, because now I got to dig out exactly what stuff you've unlocked and what you haven't, and what I should prioritize. But actually, you know what? Let me do that. All right, I add this one to it as well. You know what? I'm going to put this down here, because both of these instances, this is like the very first time you play a random match and you unlock the female warrior card. So I can tackle that. That's sort of, I guess that'll be easier. Alright. What I should do is actually make a little card mock-up. Yeah, I think I'll work on that now. So let's do the game over menu. Game over menu. Done. Oh, wait. That's... Turn that off. Their damage, your damage. Oh, there it is. Online. Yep. So I don't want that one. I want this guy. Thanks for all the chat. I think I'll get some rest before tomorrow's lecture. Oz, thanks for hanging out, buddy. I appreciate you coming by and hanging out. So, yep. Definitely go get some sleep. If you're going to sit through a boring lecture, the sleep helps, because otherwise you'll doze off. I know I did, man. Said it before, I say it again. I was a terrible student. Alright. Thanks for hanging out, man. Hopefully you can make it again. I'll be here again on Friday. 1 to 4-ish Pacific Standard Time. Whatever time it is for you on the other side of the planet, I think. So, take care, buddy. Okay. So, you won opponent. Choose reaction test. Winning menu, losing menu. Yeah. Alright, that's what we're going to do. Knockout. Main menu for a second. There, we'll show that. You try to hang on. It's a challenge, man. Depending on the teacher, it could be a total challenge. Sort of like the Ben Stein and Ferris Bueller. Anyone? Bueller. Okay. This is where I want to be. So what I'll do is I'll make a generic card that I can change on the fly. Excuse me. Actually, I need this for both winning and losing. So, online game over menu. I'll just drop it not in the winning menu, but I'll put it on the base menu. Excuse me. Okay. So create sprite. Child. I think I'll stick with this guy. Shrink him down. And I want it to be more of like a vertically based one. So if I just cheat, give it a 90. Like that. Alright. I gotta think about where this should actually go. Maybe have it pop up in the corner? I don't know yet. I'm gonna have to play with this, see what is gonna look right. But alright, so we'll start with that. And you know what, actually, because he's rotated, I don't want him to be the base object that everything else is connected to, because that's going to get funky fast. So what I'll do is I'll create, let me come back up here. I'm going to create an invisible widget. And for those who are curious, I'm using NGUI. I'm not using Unity's UGUI. I've been using NGUI for a bunch of years, so I'm just very, very comfortable with it. Alright, we'll throw him like in the middle. You know what, I'll make him big. Why not? Just to match it. I don't have to do this, but I think just for selection wise it'd be easier. And I'll throw him way back in the back. 40. Make his size kind of match like that. Alright. Oops, I didn't mean to move him down yet. Container. Call this unlock card group. Throw him on there. Zoom back in. Call this unlock card background. Alright. And like I said, I'll try and figure out placement after the fact. Right now I just want to start throwing some stuff in here. So create label child. Throw him up here. Let's see, let's throw it at the top. Say, you've won a new unlock card. Oops. You gotta head out to do some work. XD, man, thanks for coming by again. Alright, man. Take care. Thanks for hanging out. Hopefully you can come back again. Let's see. Let me go a little wider so we can squeeze it in 2 lines. Maybe just... I'll leave the font size the same for a second. Oops. Alright. And I'm going to turn off the gradient. Make it so it's not blindingly white. Drop it down just like there. Alright. And then create sprite child. In this case, we're going to go to... Oh, this is going to get tricky. Because it could be... any one of the other cards. Alright, you know what? I'm going to make this a prefab. I'm going to make this a prefab that gets loaded at runtime, so that way it can accommodate future islands. Because I can't hardcode these characters, because that's going to change on me. Wait, why is that? Oh, because I did that off of the background, didn't I? That's not going to fly. Do it off of the card group there. There he goes. Create sprite child. That's better. We'll lock him in. Wonder I should... Yeah. We'll try that. You going to any game jams soon? I am. The Global Game Jam, which is coming up at the end of the month. So it's just a few weeks away, right? Let me see. 25th, I think. Global Game Jam. Yeah, 25th through the 27th. Our friend Gunnar, who's lurking back there somewhere, who's actually organizing it here in Las Vegas. So for the first time ever, the Global Game Jam will have a presence here in Sin City, Las Vegas. So yeah, I'll be plugging away. And I think I actually have Gunnar's blessing and permission to live stream it. So that should be interesting. You know, imagine... yeah, imagine, what is that, 48 hours worth of live stream watching me just get more and more tired as I go on. You know, I used to be able to do the all-nighter kind of stuff in my youth, but youth is long gone, so you're going to watch me just like deteriorate I'll bring the sleeping bag, try and catch some sleep as much as I can, but something tells me it's not going to get pretty by the end. So, if nothing else, it should be entertaining just to watch me just turn into like a blithering idiot by the time that the game jam is done. Let's see, create sprite, label child. Oh, crap, I keep doing that. I need to come off of this guy. I love your stream, man. Thank you, Fitz. I appreciate that. Like child. Okay. So I gotta label up this stuff. I'm always terrible at the UI layout stuff. This is not my strong suit. So what I'm doing right now, I will probably change like 20 times over. Cards. Let me stretch this out. Shrink it down, stretch it out this way. So cards needed. Compress that down. Throw it up at the top. There it goes. Okay. Do that. Cards needed. I'm gonna throw another one underneath here. Create sprite. Make it a sibling. Oh, nope. Create label sibling. There it goes. And then we'll say this cards. Trying to double click to change the name, dummy. Think of them as logos or ads. It makes it easier to design. Yeah, my wife is great at doing that. She was a graphic designer for a bunch of years. So I'll show it to her sometimes, and she'll look at it, and she'll just give me that look. It's like, okay, do you want me to be honest? Or you want me to be nice? Not nice, please. Cards needed text. And we'll just throw that at 0 to begin with. So in theory, that number will never be larger than 4. So that sizing should be fine. Actually, I should just parent him to him, shouldn't I? Alright, so we do that. Cards needed. Say cards 1. I'm tempted to actually make card iterations of each one of them. That would save me the trouble of having to swap out the graphics at runtime. That means I'll have a giant list of prefabs. But as long as I agree that they're all the same, and I just do it once, that might make stuff easier on the long run. So let me think about that. Once again, I mean, this is all me on the fly, not having really obviously planned this out beforehand. So you can see how it's just kind of evolving in my own head. So cards 1, let me rename this. Cards needed to cards 1 text. I was going to say, I think we should have some more channels in the Discord. Something of your viewers to have fun with, like artwork, film junk, not safe for work, whatever you know. Yeah, they have the, I know they also have, like, you know, in the art section too, right? So, you know, right now I'm doing science and technology, which I think is a crazy way. I mean, if you look, you know, you have game developers grouped in with a perpetual stream of Carl Sagan's Cosmos, which is just, I mean, I'm not sure how that's even close to being in the same category, but, yeah. It would be, I think it'd be nice if there was other general categories. I think that'd be kind of cool. But, you know, yeah, not safe for work. that would instantly be the most popular category. You would have, like, you know, Fortnite, and then not safe for work is, like, up here somewhere. You know? No, we don't need a not safe for work category. If we have that, man, there's only, like, you know, there's any given time in science technology, there's only, like, 1,000 total viewers to begin with, right? If we throw in a not safe for work category, that 1,000 is going to shrink to like 4. But we hang with you, so it's not just strictly game development. We're all human, and it gives us a chance to socialize when you're not streaming. Just combine Fortnite, and not safe for work. Let's be honest. Oh, there you go, man. That's it. There is the money mill right there, man. Making not safe for work Fortnite game, right, with lots of interesting weapons. It doesn't have to be not safe for work. I was joking. I just meant anything that came to mind. No, I agree. I agree. Because once I actually get the game out in beta, right, and I will have at least a brief time where I will not be working on it. Most likely, I'm going to start working on the gameplay trailer, right? Which I will also, since I have this schedule set up, you guys will see some of that as well. And in that case, most likely, I will switch from science and technology to art because it will be much more of art design. And, I mean, it's going to be zero programming. It's going to be more like After Effects or the equivalent, right? Which is kind of strange because, and I'm kind of apprehensive about that because I look at my numbers on Twitch, and most of you guys are finding me by doing, at least according to Twitch, finding me via search, right? So you guys are kind of like me. You go, I want to watch a game developer. I will go to Science and Technology to find a streamer, right, that's doing game development. But if I go into art, I don't know if I'm going to even find an audience over there, So I may do that, and then if nobody comes, I may switch it back to Science and Technology, even though really, in reality, I'm not really doing Science and Technology. But, you are onto something. Saints Row 3 inspired weaponry, if you catch my drift. There you go, man. There you go. Lots of that kind of stuff. Game dev should definitely be its own option. Yes, I totally agree, man. I mean, it's, and I wonder how many people have trouble even finding stuff because, I mean, science and technology seems more like, how to repair your car, right? Or like how to build a PC, I mean, less of game design kind of stuff. But, I mean, at least that's my mindset. Actually, I can bring this up, can't I? And where's his depth? I'm going to bring him forward so he's on top of him. Should I change this? What do you think? Maybe make it nice green? That's not terrible. Let's see. Maybe not. You've won a new card. Now I'm wondering if I should throw in the little inset on that. I think general and announcements is good, to be honest. I have a memes and banter section that I usually do for Discord channels for off-topic stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I think I have... oh, Below the Stone, by the way. How's it going, man? I'm sorry I didn't even say hello. You popped up and just kind of blended in the conversation. But yeah, I think if you look at my Discord, I think I have a few channels set up. Hey. So I think I have that covered, but I'm always thinking that I should revisit that. I do that. Yeah. Yeah, I right now it's sort of like I have the general category, the announcements, the welcome, that kind of stuff. Just jump right in. Yeah, just like we're all running along and poof, you're just running right beside us. And it's kind of like, wait, were you here the whole time? Yeah, sure, I was. All right, cards 1, and then so no small talk. Just jump right in. All right. And then I'll do one final one down here. And this will be to go. And let me bring this up. And let's see. Oh. You want a new unlock card? Let's see. Oh, I need to clarify exactly what it is too, because this you have villagers. Oh crap! This is gonna get really, really wordy really fast, isn't it? New. All right, I'm gonna expand this because I'm rethinking this definitely. Let's see. Villager. Unlock. You've won a new. Oh, I need to like get on the same line, don't I? You've won a new. I got a double space in there. Let me fix that. There. Villager unlock card. Okay. Because there's 3 different things you can unlock. There's villagers, launchers, and the icon badges. That's my point. There is no game development section in this Discord. There's room for plenty of channels, actually. Yeah. Are you talking on my Discord? Or are you just talking in general? I was being vague on purpose. Alright, you know what? Sorry, I gotta close the blast doors here. There you go. My K9 security system is going off, so there you go. Okay. You've won a new villager unlock card. I think that should be explanatory enough. Bring this down. Oh, wrong thing. Actually, I'll leave that there. There. Gets that out of the way. Bring this down. I think my security system is broken or needs food. They are trigger happy. You know, they're great at like spotting the sounds of like a UPS truck, you know, or the postal truck, but then like just yeah, we have misfires. The neighbors come home and just close their door, you know, in the car, and it's like the dogs go off. It's like no. All right, this is looking a little crunched, isn't it? Okay. I think that's okay. Bring these guys back down. Like that. 240. At least you know when the mail comes. Well, no, actually we have one of those joint boxes kind of thing. So that's only if they're dropping something at the door. But it is good, right? It is nice that because I'm not sure what happens for you guys in your neighborhood, but you know, if you have packages, unfortunately, that stay on on the front porch too long, they will get let's just put it politely, redistributed. So yeah, when I hear the dogs barking, I know it's time to go check to see if I got something delivered. Well, I mean, the telltale sign is if you hear like the vehicle drive away, you know. All right, cards needed, cards 1. I think I could space that a little bit better. Kind of like him, like tucked underneath there. Your Discord. I think you're overlooking it. Oh, really? Okay. Redistributed. Yes, that's a politically correct term, right? Did you steal this? No. I simply redistributed. Okay, let's Neo Tokyo. Then let's revisit that. What other things do you think it should have? You know, I'm all ears. You know, so I'll scroll back here. Game dev. Okay, so game dev section. I will add that. That's a good idea. That's a totally good idea. All right. More cards. Need for more card. Oops, I don't want capitals on that. For more cards. Yes. I just didn't want to spell it out. No, dude, I take no offense, man. I think it's a totally valid point. Need 4 more cards. But you need just Oops. You need just 4 more cards. Alright, and that will update, of course, as we go along. And now he's looking like he shouldn't overlap. I'm lucky I live sort of in nowhere land when it comes to mail. Well, that's a plus for sure. You know, and I mean I've been, as I said, I've been in Vegas for 7 years, and for the most part, I really do love it. One of the downsides is Vegas is notorious for being an incredibly transient state. So, you know, unfortunately, there is a lot of theft and identity theft too, that kind of stuff. So you have to unfortunately be kind of careful of that stuff here. You know, but you know, well, we have Mariah Carey, Celine Dion, and oh shoot, totally blanked on her. Britney Spears. So you know, I guess it's worth the trade-off, right? And I think David Copperfield still performs, doesn't he? I don't go to any of those, but they're here. Hard for people to steal packages just because it's so low population. Let me guess, it's one of those things that if anyone was dumb enough to do it, everyone would know, just because it's such a small town. Let's see. Should I squeeze it onto one line or just leave it? You know what? Okay, I'm overthinking it. I think this layout's gonna be pretty good. I'm gonna space the card out a bit more. Oops, wrong way. Like so. I can give us a little more breathing room. All right. So, you know what? I'm going to change my mind. I think I'll actually do this where it will change the character on the fly. You've won a new villager. Let's see if all these guys can fit nicely in here. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, he's over it a little. That's fine. Alright. Actually, for this one, it would just be the villager, so it's just going to be the little salute pose. Alright, so I think that's cool. Yep. Oh, he's way over, isn't he? Alright. Is that going to be true for all of them? Kind of. I guess my other option is I could just put all 5 on here and just toggle off the ones that I don't need. That's not a terrible idea either. Had some neighbors move in recently, actually from Vegas. One was a showgirl. Pretty interesting folks, to say the least. Showgirl. Yeah, I always joke that, so I live in an area that's south of the Strip, and it's a very suburb kind of feel. And when you go to the grocery store here, it's kind of funny. It's sort of like you see the showgirls that have sort of like reached, you know, sent to the pasture age, retirement age. So it's kind of funny. I think a lot of them just sort of like find a husband, settle down, and have a kids. But you know, you see these women that, you know, they're getting older, and they just, you know, women, you know, like all humans, we age, right? But it's kind of strange to see these women that, you know, are getting up there, you know, in like mommy plus range, right? But then you can still see like they're like still have like figures that are still like designed to be showgirl kind of level. And it's this weird kind of dichotomy. Anyways, I don't know where I'm going with that. Never mind. I'll delete that. I'll fix that in post. That was boring. It's just a strange life here in Vegas. There are some strange things you see. But then again, after 12 years in LA, Vegas doesn't hold a candle to all the strangeness that is LA. Okay. So what I'll do, just so I can make sure that everything is where I want it to be, they just want to settle down and offer their services from home. Take it down a notch. All right. Villager A. Oops. So I'm going to actually put all 5 of the characters here, and by doing that I can make sure that I have them centered the way I like, rather than changing it at runtime, which I can do, but if they're off-centered, I'm not going to be able to address that. Duplicate, C. Yeah, you know, folksy kind of performer. Yeah, you guys probably heard about that, the story of the guy that's like the mayor of Prim here in Las Vegas. Well, I mean, he was running for mayor, but then died in his sleep. But I mean, his biggest claim to fame was that he ran like all the brothels and Prim, and just decided, since he thought it'd be fun to run for mayor. And it was actually he was winning before he died, and I guess he won, even though he was no longer drawing breath. You know, it's, I mean, that's gotta suck, man. If you're going up against a dead man, right, and you lose, it's kind of like, you think to yourself, it's like, how much do I suck that I can't even beat a dead man, right? The guy doesn't even draw breath, and he still beat me in the polls. That's gotta hurt. That's really gotta hurt. Let's see, A, B, C. Oh, I'm missing somebody. All right, let me turn these guys off because I'm just screwing this up. There's A. Here's B. That's correct so far. Should be the dwarf character. Oh, that's why I screwed up. There it is. He's C. And then he should be D. And then finally E. Put this up here. E. So he would be the wizard. Let me see how that looks here. Turn him on. Turn him off. Yeah. This is why I'm saying I'm going to put all 5 in place, so I can tailor it, make sure that they're centered nicely. If I just switch them out dynamically, they're going to be kind of off-centered and look kind of ugly. You see that the more followers you get, the more you'll see they're not just here for Scary Robot Games. They are, but they also want to support me. Oh, okay, wow. Maybe the dude who lost poisoned him to win, but he somehow still lost, which in return is great because it's a win-win for you. That's true. Tinfoil hat. Yeah, it's funny. No, he actually, it was his birthday party. So he had this blowout birthday party, right, with all the girls and like all the quasi-celebrities hanging out there. Was that Sheriff Arpaio from, I think, Arizona? And, the old Hedgehog, the old famous porn star. They were all hanging out with him, and then he was like having a great time, and he goes, all right, guys, you know, I'm tired. I got to go to bed. And he never woke up again. But yeah, that's got to hurt, man. It's like, well, you came in second to a guy that no longer draws breath. I mean, no, reality is, of course, with all the pre-voting, I'm sure that there was, you know, that was going to happen anyways, but I just for the joke, I think it's hysterical. But yeah, Neo Tokyo, man, thanks for the kind words. But yeah, going back to Discord, if you have other suggestions besides just the game dev section, you know, please suggest. I mean, if you looked at it, you probably see how it kind of slapped together. I haven't really done a ton of homework to figure out what the best approach is for a good Discord server. So if you want to toss out some suggestions, I'm all ears. Okay, I think let's scooch him over a little bit. Maybe do the same for him, the other direction, like that. All right. So what do you think? This layout work? I think it conveys it. I mean, it's not the prettiest thing, but I think it explains exactly what's going on. You know, when you get the unlock card. I think that's okay. And yeah, Actually beef him up a little bit. Okay. Yep. Excuse me. Okay. Let's see, how do I want to play this? I could throw a script on him, and then instantiate the object, and just send messages to it, and let it handle most of the heavy lifting. That's probably going to be the easier way, rather than, otherwise I have to instantiate it, and then hunt down all the content by an outside script. So I think that's going to be the better approach. Let's see. So if we go island, got that unlock card group. Yeah, I think that'll work. 4693, and yeah, I'm still not sure about placement yet. I have to figure that out. Okay, so let me throw a script on him. Look, card group. I think I'll just use the same name, scripts. Oh, you know what? Actually, no. Let me change this. Card. This is for villagers. So, alright, so I update that. I can't remember. Does it actually update the name here? No, it doesn't. There. I've done that before where I actually deleted the prefab without generating a new one, and it like nuked all my stuff. Sort of like the old school way. I know 2018 redid the way prefabs work completely. I'll give it some more thought. Maybe I'll browse some game dev discords for ideas. I know people have sections for Unity, Unreal, GameMaker, etc. Once you have a large enough following, yeah, I'm up to 5 viewers. It might even be a great place for people to network. Yeah, I would love it, you know. And I'm very active on there now. If I'm not online, that is. You know, you can always usually find me on Discord. You know, I think we've chatted a bit on there too. So, you know, I could add that 6 now. It takes the 4 horsemen, so you're in the lead right now. There you go. That's all I need. 4 and I'm done. Excuse me. Yeah, and I guess I could add those channels. I mean, you know, my Unreal knowledge is nothing, so I would not be able to contribute to much of that. But GameMaker I've dabbled in a little bit, but that's actually a totally valid idea. So, yeah, but at least to begin with, the game dev section, definitely, that's a fantastic idea. Okay, so let me find that script I just made. Or did I actually make it yet? No, I don't think I did. I just started going in the renaming stuff. So let's go create a new C# script. And we'll say... actually, what did we call this? Just lost my naming here. Oh, there it is. Let's see. Just ideas. Ideas nobody cares about. Is nice now. It's nice you keep up with it and talk on it. Yeah, I try. I mean, part of it is just because I enjoy the chatting too. I mean, you know, once again, I'm like, I got an empty room, you know, and you know, Vegas is definitely growing in terms of, you know, the community, at least for developers. I believe, but it's still a super small community, you know. So I'm not, to be honest, I don't think I'm as sociable here in Vegas as I used to be in LA. Part of that also is just because in LA, you know, I was working at Visual Effects houses, so I'm surrounded by all my coworkers who are all friends, you know. So I think just by that very nature, you tend to be more sociable, anyways. So, you know. So yeah, I guess the point was the fact that I really enjoy the Discord stuff. I enjoy the chatting with you guys. Alright, so I want Unlock Card Villager. villagers. Unlock card villagers. Yeah, that's good enough. Alright. That's interesting. Why'd you pop up? Alright, slap him on there. Alright, let's go to work on this guy. So what key things do we have here? We have, now I'll throw these public so I can actually have them connected from the get-go. That's fine. Cards needed. Oops, nope. UI label. And cards needed text. Sweet. We got that. Cards one text. I could do something nice. I think when cards needed, I think that'll like update so it pops up and then the numbers will change, just so there's some like activity on that. And then actually I have that text change right before your eyes. It'll go from you need just one more card, and then it'll change to now this villager unlocked. I think that'd be cool. Okay. Cards one. In that case, I probably need to actually go beyond just the label and actually do the object itself too, so I can do a little scaling trick on it. Oops. If I'm going to be consistent, let me get these guys capitalized like that. There's about 20 people on the Discord right now. That being said, it's nice how the channels are set up. It doesn't need to be too complicated. Designing your image how you want to work. Okay, cool. Yeah, 7. Hey, it's growing. Yeah, it fluctuates, but you know, I've done it when I first started. I frequently had 0, and I had no qualms. I mean, if nothing else, I'm just doing this for my own posterity, so I can go back and look at the development as it went along. But you know, obviously, it's much more fun when you guys are hanging out with me. So I do appreciate everyone that comes by. Cards needed. Object. Game object. Alright. So, yeah, I'm splitting this out. I could do it as more a class, but I think that'd be a slower pain or bigger pain. Yeah, he's hardcore. I caught him I caught him talking to himself. OP Scripter's here. Hey, how's it going, OP Scripter? Yeah, perseverance. Yeah, the beauty of it is the fact that I always talk to myself anyways, but at least when I'm online, at least in theory, it's like less nutty, you know? How's it going, man? Welcome, OP Scripter. Good to see you again. Alright, who'd I... Oh, I need to change this. Cards 1 object, cards 1 text. Okay, excuse me. Alright, so we got those two. And then I'll do the same for the text down below. I guess I could do that for this text as well. I could do something, or at least like a flash or something, maybe. Like, woo, something like that. Nah. I could at least do a scaling trick, just something that like draws the eye. So in that case, I just need a game object. Call it title text, or maybe top text. Yeah, title text will work. And then I guess for the bottom, what should I call that? I just call them bottom text object, and then just bottom text, since that will potentially change. Okay. Let's see. So, dude, not an update. I don't care about that. Start should be fine. That's all done. I think live streaming development helps pressure me to work too. Yeah, you and me as well too. I find myself getting distracted with a browser window open. Two peas in a pod for sure. Or a YouTube vid playing with streaming. It keeps me in line, I suppose. Positive pressure. Yeah. Actually, so Below the Stone Dev, are you actually doing streaming as well? If so, man, send me your link. I didn't notice it before. I'd be happy to check it out and throw it on my list as well, my queue. But yeah, that is part of the reason too. I mean, I have this trade-off because I'm definitely conversing more, right? So there's that aspect. But I think the time I lose from the talking is minor compared to when you're working and kind of go, oh, you know what? I wonder if that TV show is coming back on. You go into and you start Googling something, and then that feeds into something else, and you go down 5 different rabbit holes, and next thing you know, it's like, oh, great. I just surfed, mindless stuff for 40 minutes for no reason. I could see that. YouTube is always destroying my productivity. Yeah, exactly. Excuse me. Which, and the dirty secret, okay, true confessions, is I actually have, Hulu and Netflix running over here on the side. So usually I'm not even working. I'm just like making this stuff up, and I'm just watching videos on the side. If I could do that, man, I'd be like a total tough guy. I followed you too just because I want to support other devs. Okay, so yeah, so okay, I'll find you and I'll grab yours as well. Make note of that. So funny story about that, so if you're anything like me, oh yeah, there you go, awesome. Thanks for the link. I'll do that. I don't want to do it now because I'll probably break something if I try and hit that, but I promise I'll do a follow after I finish the feed. But yeah, I don't know how you guys are on multitasking. I mean, I know they say women are supposed to be much better at that. I know I'm pretty crappy. I can get like unfocused like crazy. But I had a friend, I worked at a company called Digital Domain a bunch of years ago, a million years ago, in the commercial department. And I had this one buddy, I really appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. I had this one buddy of mine. He was an amazing modeler, right? And I think he actually still works there. He's like a high up guy because he's been there the whole time. And I mean, we were there in like early 2000. But it was so funny. We were working on this commercial where we were building like these engines, car engines and models, right? And modeling them in 3D. And he had like a little DVD player. And he literally watched like the entire run of X-Files. And I don't know how he did it, man. I mean, because he was still, even though he's watching X-Files on his little DVD player and still modeling at the same time, he was able to follow the show, yet still model faster than the other 3 of us in the cubicle area combined. So, even though he was like doing both, he was still faster and then better. He was also, he was and probably still is an amazing modeler. But, yeah, I don't multitask nearly as well as he does. But I don't think he's human. I think he's a machine. Me and him might get along. That's good. Okay. So, and I also need to like link up all those icons too. So let me do that. So in this case, I need I guess I'd just do it as an array, couldn't I? Oops, let me make it public. So I can attach all this crap right from the start. Game object. Villager icons. Oh, make it an array. Done. Alright. So let me start slapping some of this stuff together. I did attach this script, didn't I? Oh, it's on here, right? Oh, maybe not. I thought I did. Alright, let's do it now. Alright, I swear did I toss on the wrong thing? I did. That's why I tossed it in the wrong place. Okay, so I'm going to remove that one, because that does no good there. I went on the top part. Yeah. Okay. So... start labeling some of this better. Title text. And I'll push to the top just because I can. Alright, title text. Cards needed object. Yeah, it's this guy. Yeah. So toss him there. Toss him there. So that gives me access to the object that I can change the number and also the make it scale. I still got like dog fur. Dog fur just floating in the air. She just came by for one petting session. The fur remains. Streaming is just a great way to train your focus, at least when you're not distracted talking with us fools. Who's the more foolish, the fool or the fool who reads it? There you go. How's that for a bastardization? Text. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, if you look at like my early streams, I was definitely struggling more trying to have any level of focus at all. But I'm I still fall off the wagon pretty quickly in terms of just shutting down the development and just going into full talk. But I think I'm a little bit better at balancing the two. X-Files was one of the best. Everything about that show and the tense music when Mulder runs. You knew it was a good episode if you saw that. Yeah, even the 15-second promos were awesome. Yeah, okay, true confessions. I'm not the biggest David Duchovny fan, so I have a hard time getting into X-Files, which is terrible. And actually, I think part of it was I got prejudiced from the beginning because I worship at the altar of Rod Serling. I love Twilight Zone. I mean, Twilight Zone to me is the greatest gift to television of all time. So when I had all my friends going, you got to watch X-Files, man. It's like the new Twilight Zone. That was a bad way to start it, So I came in watching X-Files with a big chip on my shoulder, which didn't help. So, unfollowing. Oh, there it goes. No, I meant it was amazing. David Duchovny, man. I have a life-size poster of him on my wall right there. I've tried, dude. I've tried to get back into it several times, and I just can't quite connect. Did you like the Twilight Zone marathon for New Year's too? I didn't, but then, to be honest, number one, I have it on Netflix, so I can watch it. We can still be friends now. Yeah, I have David Duchovny on speed dial. Okay, no. But to be honest, I've watched pretty much every Twilight Zone episode so many times that, my buddy loves doing this. He'll say, oh, I just watched the Twilight Zone. He'll start to describe it, and I'll just go, I'll tell him like the name of it, and he goes, yeah, you're a jerk. You're a nerd. So, yeah, absolutely, man. Twilight Zone, the fact that they cranked that stuff out as fast as they did and still kept the quality for the most part. I mean, there's some Twilight Zone episodes that are absolutely terrible, but there's some episodes of Twilight Zone that is some of the greatest writing that television ever had. Usually the ones written by Richard Matheson. Just a total writing genius in my book. Absolutely love his stuff. That even his feature films too, for the most part, were just fantastic. So, I'll probably come back to it. I will probably revisit. I do that sometimes. I will get into a show and walk away from it, and then over time I usually come back, and whatever issue I have is like past, and then I'll just start binge watching the crap out of it. I've never been a person to praise an actor over a show though. Oh yeah, with the exception of David Duchovny. Is that the one the exception that breaks the rule? All right, let's fill up my glass here again. Let's see. I'd have to look up the name, but the Christmas episode with the mall Santa. Who finds the magic sack? Miracle on 34th Street? No, that was the movie version. Sorry. Oh shoot. Yeah, it was Art Rooney, not Art. Yeah, from the Honeymooners, and unironic tear in my eye. Don't care about the company like that. I didn't bother watching Californication. Californication was a great show if you just want to see lots of naked women and lots of explicit sex. It was, it was profoundly good at doing that for sure. It was kind of funny in moments. I thought there was, but once again, that was another one that it just, for Duchovny, I don't connect with him at all. Oh, is it Night of the Meek? Was it Night of the Meek? I think that's the name of the episode. Hey, this is PG-13 chat. Well, I didn't Google images, it sounds like Game of Thrones in Venice, California, just without minus the bloodshed. It has tons of verbal bloodshed, but no actual. Yeah, it was Night of the Meek. Yeah, and it is Art Carney, not Art Rooney. Sorry, Art Carney and the girl. Let's see. It was actually, I can't remember her name, but she was in the TV series It's a Living. I'd have to look it up. I'd have to cheat to look it up, but I used to remember her name. But it was like one of her I think it was her very first acting roles. But I don't recall it offhand. But yeah, Art Carney. It is such a sweet one. That is absolutely a beautiful Twilight Zone episode. It's just done so perfectly. No, dude. Peggy Bundy and Sons of Anarchy, take my money. Yeah, she was great in that, man. I loved it until every episode they kept having her sing. I mean, she has a great voice, right? I mean, I know you guys probably know this, but yeah, Peggy Bundy was actually a mermaid. She was a backup singer for Bette Midler back in the 70s, right? So she sings really well, but because her husband was the creator of the TV show Sons of Anarchy, it's like the longer the show went, the more often you kept hearing her singing, in the background music, which, was okay, but to me, it got a little old fast. Let's see, that'd be 5. Yeah, that was one I thought, Sons of Anarchy was one that started off really strong, but I think it kind of lost its way over time. It sort of meandered all over the map. But, I like the way they ended it. I thought they wrapped things up pretty nicely, but nothing's worse than a show that obviously outlives its prime, By the way, do you know that South Park is still on the air? Not trying to make a connection there. But, yeah, South Park and Simpsons. My buddy was watching, he was a diehard Simpsons back when The Simpsons was in its infancy. But, it's funny, he still watches it now, and he goes, I was watching a Simpsons episode from 15 years ago, and he goes, man, that show used to be funny. So, but I mean, if it's a cash cow, right? I'm sure nobody wants to stop doing it. Alright, so, bottom text. I gotta do that too. I watched a little of The Simpsons when I was a kid. Yeah. I was more of a South Park fan. I like Simpsons sometimes, but it's hit and miss for me. But South Park, the first few years, I thought was fantastic. It really pushed the envelope. Old school Simpsons was amazing. Yeah, I agree. Especially the Halloween episodes, I thought were fantastic. Alright, so this is bottom text. Text. All right, where are we at? 3:30. You know what? Actually, I'm going to do a quick restroom break. I think it's about that time. But just hang tight, and I will be back in mere seconds. All right? Hang tight. In the back. Let's see, what did I miss here? That's what I remember, the 90s basically. Couldn't get into South Park. I remember being in junior high and all the normies were quoting that show all year. I was already neglecting Western TV and watching anime. I watched South Park before it was cool. Well, if nothing else, man, there's one episode called Free Hat, which is just pure comedy genius. And it has to do with the whole George Lucas and the revisiting and revising his own movies. And that one, that's 30 minutes worth of pure comedy gold. If you ever kind of go, you know what, South Park just doesn't really do anything, give Free Hat a try. That one episode alone, I think that one is just like absolutely 10 out of 10 in my book. I guess I should throw a shadow on these, maybe. That's not a terrible idea. Create sprite. Actually, I'll clone this. Because right now, he's just kind of floating on this thing. So go like that. Go underneath. There it goes. Move him back one. Like that. Drop him black. Make him semi. There it goes. Yeah, I think I might like that. Yep, I'm okay with that. Let me go down the line, do that for all these guys. I just want to do a little separation from the background. Alright. Same for this. Drop it one. Black. Make it semi-transparent. Whoops. Alright, what did I do the shadow as? I don't like that one. 92. So set the alpha to 92. There he goes. Alright. Let's see. For me, high school was hearing about Game of Thrones and Walking Dead. I used to like Walking Dead, but I think the writers were trying to be cool and edgy after a while. Went off the comic source material and just bombed it. Yeah, the same way for me. I don't have cable television, but I was using Vudu, where you can just buy the whole season. So you pay like I think it's like $25, and you get access to the season, and you get to watch it the day after it airs. So on AMC. So I was doing that, man. I was watching Game of Thrones. I was watching Walking Dead for years, and there was one moment where I threw in the towel, man. I just went, you know what, this is so insulting. And no spoilers, but I mean, for anyone that watches the show will understand the context I'm talking about. And it was the moment that the Jesus character arrived, right? Excuse me. And the sequences that play out in that episode, in the middle of that episode, are so insulting because it's, I use this term all the time. I say my biggest complaint for TV shows and movies is when smart characters do stupid things simply to advance the plot because the writers are too lazy to come up with a better convention of how to make it happen. And that episode in particular is a textbook example of how they just completely, they do 5 things in a row that make no sense to anyone that's watching the show. They're going, why would you do that, right? Unless you're trying to get a certain outcome. And, and it's just, I quit. If shows get me too PO'd, man, if they do something that's so insulting, I will, shut them down and not revisit them. And I haven't been back. I mean, I think I went back once to try and say, okay, maybe I'll get another chance, and I went another episode, and I was still out. So at this point, I'm 4 years behind on Walking Dead. Game of Thrones, I haven't given a chance to yet. That's my wife's show, man. She loves that show with a passion. It's all about Mr. Snow, Jon Snow. But I have not watched it. I'll probably watch it once they actually just kind of finish the series. I'll come back and revisit it, I'm sure, at some point. Yeah, it just became insulting. It felt like the writers were trying to farm my viewership. Yeah, and I always laughed at it because, it's so funny because, the whole series takes place in Atlanta, right? And that's where I was born and raised. I spent my first 3 decades of life there in Atlanta, and it's always funny when you have Hollywood writers that, understand a city better than you do. And I mean, at least they think so, and they write stuff that is just so insulting, right? Because in like one of the early season episodes, they were talking about how, they had to go scavenge in the city, right? And they have to go find certain things. For example, they have to go find a snowmobile, because winter's coming soon and we'll have snow. It's like, in Atlanta? Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe if you go up into the mountains, up in the north or something, but, it's like, wow. Dude, you just Googled a website and saw one picture of snow and just kind of went, yep, that must be the way it is there, so let me just do that. So, and I mean, I did. So initially, I walked away from that show a couple of times, because I was just so annoyed with the characters, but I think they kind of, Again? You're rating me again? Okay. It's just, I think they got over some of the stereotypes and started focusing more on just the characters and the interactions, but, I think that's, Walking Dead, I think, is a perfect example of a show that's outlived, pardon the pun, its usefulness, right? I think it's sort of like they've burned through all the possible equations and villains and scenarios, and like you said, they've pretty much split from the comic book, and they're making their own. And it's just at a certain point, you just kind of go, we're in a full-on lather, rinse, repeat kind of mode now, So, yeah, is that good? All right, is that enough? You let me work again? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's your cue. Okay. So, that's my viewpoint. But I still got friends that still love the show like crazy, Walking Dead. And like I said, I mean, I may, kind of like Game of Thrones, once it actually wraps up and I know it finally has a true ending, I may come back and revisit it, if I can just get past some of the issues. And part of it also is that, thanks to Facebook, I've had pretty much all the key stuff that I've not seen yet completely spoiled. So it's not like, when I hit those moments, it's not like a, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't see that coming kind of thing. It's kind of like, oh yeah, that was what I heard about years ago. So thanks to Facebook, man, there's no such thing as spoiler-free discussions. You know what I mean? It doesn't happen. All right, this guy, duplicate him, throw him down there. But yeah, and I mean, that's one of the things I like about Netflix is that like I said, I don't have television. I don't have cable or anything like that. So with Netflix, I can discover TV series that I had never given a chance to before. And sometimes I find some gems. I'm really enjoying Gotham. That one surprised me. I thought that was still kind of felt like it's solidly in comic book land, but surprisingly mature and honestly kind of bloodthirsty sometimes. I mean, disturbingly so. But I'm sorry to see that Fox is gonna axe it after this last season and do a shortened season. I hope they're able to round off all the edges, because it's a fun show, And I think the arc that Bruce Wayne has gone from the first episode to where he is now has been a nice. Oh, speaking of which, I guess the final season premiere is tomorrow night for Fox. I gotta see if I can actually watch that maybe on their Fox.com webpage. See if I can see the episodes. Otherwise, I can just wait until it shows up on Netflix. Okay. So I think that's okay. Alright, so I'm happy with that. So I'll turn him back off again. And we'll figure that out at runtime. Oh. Why did he not? Really? That's interesting. Why did you not follow suit? Oh, because it's Sprite, not the object. Yep, that was my fault. Alright, I'll leave these guys off, and I'll figure out which one to switch on when the card pops up. Alright, did I get everyone assigned? I think I've got this already set up. Yep, that looks good. Okay. Let's say, make this public void. Say, show card. Show card now. Alright, and oh, I'm gonna do this as tweens, so using GG twinning. Okay. Below the stone. I'm gonna jump off for now. I gotta do some work on my own game too now. No worries, man. Dude, once again, thanks so much for hanging out, man. I do appreciate the conversation. And yeah, I promise I will follow you on Twitch TV too. As soon as I drop off here, I got it on my to-do list. So I'll come check out yours as well. So, but yeah, thanks for hanging out, man. I hope you can make it back again on Friday and see what kind of progress I've made. Hopefully closer to release and getting this beast out the door. But yeah, thanks again, man. Thanks for hanging out. Enjoy the conversation a ton. Take care, buddy. Neo Tokyo, George R.R. Martin is the Tolkien of our time. I've always loved anything fantasy, especially dark fantasy. Also, the first book was written in 1996. It's now that people kiss us because of the HBO production, but he's been around. Alright, see you, Blowstone. Yeah, that's true. Dude, seriously, man, my wife absolutely loves that show. And I'll confess, I'm definitely much more of a sci-fi follower than I am fantasy. Although I did love the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit series. Oh, Lord of the Rings series especially. Hobbit was good, but Lord of the Rings was fantastic. So definitely a Tolkien fan. And like I said, I mean, I will, once the show finishes up and does its final season, gets out the door, I will definitely come back and give Game of Thrones a proper try. But similar to Walking Dead, I've been inundated with spoilers too. So there's not a ton of stuff that's going to happen in the show that I don't already know is coming. The only thing will be like when it actually happens, it kind of go, oh, okay, that's where this is. All right, got it. Yeah. And it's kind of weird. It's sort of like Final Destination, in the olden times. It's not a matter of will these characters die. It's just how long do they survive before they get killed off, right? Which I give them credit for that. I think that's a lot of bravery to have, especially the favorite characters, to kill them off, which Walking Dead did to a degree as well, but I mean, there's a couple of diehard characters that will not leave the show until they decide they want to leave, But that's interesting. I know that Tolkien, I think is, Tolkien. See, I'm doing it now. I think George R.R. Martin is having a bit of a challenge trying to finish up the book series, isn't he? I think he's sort of like painted himself in a corner, and now that the show is kind of taken off on him, it seems like he's actually like writing other books now, right? Instead of finishing, and I can understand that pressure, I mean, when you first starting to do the books and there's not much of a following, that's one thing. But now that you have this army of followers, right? That's got to be insanely intimidating. On anything you do or think about, you're probably doing it from the prism of how will the fans react, which has got to be like unnerving. Title text. Let's see. To transform. To toggle. Wait. It's a game object, so why is it not transform? Oh, do scale. Alright. So then if I take all these guys and shrink them down initially. I guess I could just do like a kind of ping-pongy wave kind of motion. Maybe something like that, just to start it. Do scale. Let me see, what do we got here? Like that. Oh, but I'm at the top. Oh, I gotta center it, don't I? If I'm gonna do a scale trick, I gotta have that text in the center, so it doesn't just like go downward. So that's one. So 1.5. 1.5.8. Excuse me. To scale, let's see, it's equals. Oh, let's see. No, actually, this is this way, right? Yeah. New vector 3. And we'll go big first. So 1.5 F, 1.5 F1. And for duration, we'll say 0.15, which is experiment. Do some tweaking on this. Let's see. Set ease. Out sign. Alright, so out sign. So I'm using the DoTween plugin, which I adore. And all I'm doing here is I'm going to do a scale trick, so it just kind of like, you know, like undulates larger and smaller. So I'm going to go like expand it, and then the time frame, which is 0.15 seconds. And then I'm using ease type, so that way instead of just being like a linear pop, it'll actually ease. So this, it'll start and then kind of like ease out when it finishes the scale up. This is what's happening. He's already told the producers where he sees the story unfolding, more or less. So they have already planted seeds in previous seasons. These small changes will lead to huge changes by the time the book comes out. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. That's cool. Well, like I said, I know I'll add it to my list. You know, once it's all said and done and it comes out. I don't know on which. At this point, I have like Netflix, Amazon, and I just picked up Hulu because I had that crazy deal where it was like $12 for the whole year. So whichever one it ends up coming out. And I think my wife has some of the seasons on DVD and Blu-ray. So I'm sure I'll dive in sometime in the near future when I've burned through all my other TV shows. To scale. Okay, so now we're going to shrink it back down again. So I say 0.85. 85. In this case, we're going to go in out. So it's going to smooth the curve on both ends. Oh, but then I got to set delay. So this one will kick off after the other one finishes. Like that. And so if I go out, in, out, in, out, back. So I'm going to do a few of these. Just let it ping pong. There's a couple of different approaches I could do this. Is she a fan of Tyrion Lannister? I have no clue, dude. Is he write similar novels? She listens to a lot of books on audiobooks, and I don't know if that's one of the ones she is a listener of. Tyrion? Man, that's a challenge. I just butchered the crap out of that, didn't I? Oh, he's a character from the show. Oh. Okay, there you go. I just demonstrated my total lack of knowledge. I don't know. She doesn't really talk too much about it. I think she has her girlfriends that like the show, so she talks to, and her some of her guy friends too. That, I mean, it's a lot of it's about Jon Snow, I think, but and she loves the gory action too. It's funny, she doesn't watch it so much for the sex necessarily. She actually watches it more for like when people start like busting out the swords and hacking each other up. She's a cool girl. But I'll ask her. Is that like a current character, or is that a character that came and went? 3, 4, 5. Alright, so this would be 0.6. Alright, do one final there. And then he's out, and then we'll just come back for the final settle. Don't need the F since it's just a 1, and we'll say that's 0.1, and that's 0.75. There. No, he's a character from the show. Yeah, okay, but yeah, I was asking if he's a current active character or one that got nuked along the way. Didn't exist. Dinklage. Dirk Dinklage, right? Everyone loves that guy, though. Yeah. It's funny because I knew him from a few things before that show was actually on, but yeah, I know he's definitely a favorite. Yeah, I think actually because she was reading the books before the series came out, and she made reference to it. I think they play, R.R. Martin sets it up in such a way that you find yourself rooting for him as an underdog from the get-go. So, I don't know if there's anyone that doesn't kind of root for him, for sure. But yeah, he's a good actor too. I mean, some of the other stuff I've seen him in. He's done some comedy stuff too. It's pretty funny. Okay, that should be enough to get me. So that thing is gonna do bounce title start, bounce title end. That should be enough there. All right, and then so we say int cars needed, int cards 1. And then which character it is. Selected villager. And I just call it the villager. That should be descriptive enough. So cards needed text. Text is equal to let's see, cards needed. So I'm gonna say cards needed. What I'll do is I'll actually go +1, because that's gonna be diminished by 1 automatically. So say cards +1. Oops. And then add a toString so it won't complain about it. Hello. Oh. There it goes. Okay, cards needed. Cards 1. Text. That'd be a -1. Alright, so we cheat that, and then so we do like the reveal when the card pops up. That's why I'm offsetting those values. And then, let's see, I could trigger an enumerator, so I could actually do a delayed, or I could do it by a invoke. I think I might use an invoke. Okay, so that's that, that's that. Oops. Let's see, and for bottom text. Yep. Sorry, I'm a little slow in the typing because I'm thinking about it. I'm doing this on the fly. But I think what I'll do is I'll say, you need just do it this way, and then I'll adjust that here in a second. And things are cooking up in that show. It's basically about to turn into a war between kingdoms and an army of zombies that are officially beyond the wall and headed to civilization. Oh, cool. Oh, you know what? My wife might stop watching it then. She can't do zombies. She loves gore and violence, but not zombies. But yeah, ask her if it's about to get good, and I'm sure she'll chew your ear off. Yeah, but she may. I don't know. I mean, she'll probably watch it, but she'll probably watch it like this, I mean, I can literally just come up to her and just like make a zombie sound effect, just and then it'll just freak her out. Okay, so cards needed. More cards. Good. So I'm setting that up so it has like the old values, and then it gets changed on the fly once it pops up. Alright. That's all good. So that should be enough just to get everything set up to where we're ready to do the reveal. And then I'll do like a void update card. So then I'll do it invoke. Let's see, how do I do invoke? Yeah, that's right. Update card, and then I'm gonna let it sit there for say 1.5 seconds. I'll give it a little beat because I'm thinking the card's gonna pop up, and I want it to sit there for like, you know what, 2 seconds before it actually changes over. Wait, why does it not? Oh, it wants a string, doesn't it? It wants it like that. Are you gonna be happy now? Yes, it's happy now. Not the same kind of zombies. They're called. Oh, gotcha. Yes, they are the housewife-friendly zombies, right? More like snow. There was a pun in there somewhere. Gotcha. Okay, I understand that. So then, yeah, she'll definitely be on board for that. Okay. So then takes 2 seconds, and then we come here, and then we'll go. Let's see. How should I do this? I guess I could use the same kind of thing I was doing here, but just do it like as one ping pong and be done with it. Housewife friendly? No, there's just a different kind of love to it. If it were housewife friendly, I wouldn't be into it. Okay. Yeah, no, I guess, I was just thinking like the zombies, because it's not the normally like arms falling off, rotting flesh, that kind of stuff. But it's more of the ghostly kind of thing. But no, I'm not trying to imply that the show in general is housewife friendly. I know that the violence is definitely big time gore. Let's see, cards needed. Object. And outside, and then we come back to 1. Should I do it out and back? No, I'll leave it like this. Let's see if that looks pretty or ugly. He's out. Set delay, and then that I delay for 0.3. So all those go in order. And then I'll actually change the value at this point. Cards needed. Now it's actually going to be like that. Wait, why are you complaining? Oh, crap. Okay, you know what? I need to set these values up so I can access them outside of that function. Because I don't think invoke allows you to send values, so I'll throw this way. The card's 1. Oh, I need to turn on the villager, don't I? I forgot about that. I'll just transfer the values up here. And cards. Let's see, cards needed text. Yes. No, cards needed. Oops, wrong place. Let's see. Well, I screwed myself over forever because the first couple of times I dated my girlfriend, I showed her Evil Dead, and she's never been the same when I say, hey, want to watch a scary movie? That's sort of my running joke too. The way we work is we have a very good system, because when we try to just go to the back in the day, back when Blockbuster still existed, we try and go to the store and find something to watch, right? It never turned out well because we could never agree on anything, and even movies that we knew the other one wanted to see, but we were just kind of like, you know what, I'm gonna be stubborn about this. So it's so we have a turn-based system, right? But whenever it's my turn, I'll always do that. It's kind of like, well, this one just has a little bit of horror in it, right? And every time she believes me that I'm actually going to do that, and she's like, no horror, no. And then it's not until she actually looks at the disc and kind of goes, okay, good. It's like, yeah, never done it to her, but she's still, like, every time she's fearful that I'm going to. I have to specifically say, this is a supernatural horror movie. It's okay. Family-friendly horror-ish, kind of. Cards needed. Cards 1. Oh, wait. That's wrong. Ooh, that was wrong anyways. Okay. Anything Blumhouse she can watch. Cards needed equals. There we go. So now I got the values embedded, so I can access them in the other function down below. Cards 1. I think this will always be a value of 4 is the number of cards you have to win, but I'm going to make it a variable in case I decide to actually change that at any point. So it's not going to be hard-coded. All right. Cards 1. Good. So that now works. And then I need this to be cards needed, cards 1. That's all good. Alright, so then that makes that flash. And then I'll delay this by like just a fraction so it goes one after the other. Let's see. Have you considered maybe a difficult mode versus AI? Well, it's kind of already there, because the game adjusts based on your level, right? So if you want to be a jerk, you can actually get your game up to super high level and then give it to someone to play for the first time, and the AI would pretty much destroy them. So it actually adjusts on the fly based on whatever your current skill level is. So I mean, it doesn't really get insanely challenging until you get to like level 20 or so, and that's when you find it's missing a lot less, Yeah, you haven't played enough to notice. Yeah, exactly. And that's good. I mean, I want you to, in the beginning, I want you to be able to destroy the AI, right? The last thing I want is a game that just beats you so senseless that you get frustrated and quit playing right from the get-go. I'd rather have a learning curve where you start, just quickly dominating the AI, but then as you go on, you find the AI starts to catch up. And it was a hard thing to find the curve, right, of when the AI should really start improving, but I think it's a pretty good balance. You guys can tell me over time if you think it ramps up well or if it needs to be adjusted. Cards 1 to string. Let's see. Bottom text. Yeah, leave that. Okay. Yep. Over time. This goes to cards 1. Alright. Alright, I gotta add delays to all these guys. Oops. Extra key there. 3. I'll just make it follow exactly afterwards. So that'd be 6, and that'd be 7, 5. So that would do like that with the new value. So it goes choo-chung, choo-chung. Yeah. Alright, so that changes. And then finally the text down below. let's see, bottom text object. I have that. Good. What sets you apart from other dev streamers is you don't get annoyed with out-of-the-box questions or comments. You're not some monotonous robot ignoring the chat. Thanks. Well, I mean, like, I think I've referenced this before, but in my first game, I was very thin-skinned, right? Anything that was not, anyone that didn't say, "Oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever," I would just get like incensed and like, what's wrong with the game, But yeah, after doing it for this many years, I'm completely impervious, right? I mean, unless you go in like personal attacks or insults on me personally, you can say whatever you want to. Even that, I pretty much brush off, right? No, not everyone's gonna love me, right? Some people are just gonna like not like listening to me or watching me, and that's fine, But to me, it's a matter of panning for gold, right? I get tons and tons of suggestions that I look at, and there's zero chance of me ever implementing it. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna be insulting about it, right? I had one guy at a convention that stood in front of me for 30 minutes and lectured me on... Why did the dogs not bark? Lectured me for 30 minutes on why the game was wrong, right? And I just kind of the whole time I went, And I mean, all the stuff he said basically was completely misguided, and I could rebut everything he said. But rather than deal with it, it was just easier to kind of go, okay, well, dude, thank you. I appreciate the input, But then... I listen to anyone because, as I've said, some of the best features in the game come from suggestions, So, all right, let me go check. Actually, I just had a little ring at the doorbell. Let me make sure there's nothing going on down there that I need to be aware of. What game? The Volley Village. I've been testing it for a couple of years now, right? So, this guy gave me a big long lecture of why it was a total failure, and it was amusing, But all right, hang tight. Let me duck downstairs real quick and check the front door, but I'll be right back. All right. Sorry about that. Just the delivery at the front door I had to go grab. So, yeah, so just to finish the thought. Yeah, so it was a guy that was... I can't even remember most of the details, right? I mean, if it was something specific and I would explain to him why I did what I did, and it'd be funny because instead of kind of going, oh, okay, I see where you're coming from, he would just kind of go, yeah, no, you're not, that's not right, right? And the way I dealt with it was kind of funny because I kind of said, well, dude, I appreciate all the input, and you've obviously been doing this a long time, I mean, the game development yourself. And he goes, well, I've never actually made a game, but I've worked on other people's games, so I know what I'm talking about. And it's like, at that point, you kind of go, click, So in that case, yeah, I was mining for gold, and I found not gold. I found nothing. But generally speaking, people are really good and constructive. What were his points? Oh God, at this point it's been a while back. I'd have to really think on it. Yeah, I'm not. Honestly, I can't even remember. I mean, I think key things were like changing the entire gameplay, right? Adding more arcade elements to it or something like that, and adding more intricacy and all kinds of other things, and controlling the characters and all kinds of stuff like that, which is like that's great, but that's not what the game is about, and but the funny thing is, actually, this is at a convention that me and a couple other developers were at, and he did the same thing to the other guys around me, because I went up to the guy that was in the booth next to me, and I was commenting on him, and he looked at me and went, "Oh my God, he did the same thing to me, man." So it's just, this guy was just the voice of authority. He was going from door to door and doing that to everyone, which is fine. I mean, that's what he finds entertaining, and I'm sure in his own heart he felt like he was being helpful. But helpful is when, if I can respond and explain why I made my choices, and you go, "Oh, okay, well that makes sense, but if you considered this, that, and the other," that's one thing. But if I sit there and explain why I made the choices I did, and you just kind of go, "No, well, no, that doesn't matter," then it's like, dude, okay, you're dead to me. At that point, we're done. Keep talking, that's fine, but we're done. Yeah, that does happen. But no, I mean, at least on here, Discord, everyone's been totally cool. There's been tons of feedback already, and then, some of it I would like to implement, or maybe I can't, for whatever reason, but some of it is also great feedback as well, But I think if you're not willing to take criticism, then you might have issues anyways, because, what happens if someone does make a totally valid point that you haven't looked at, I mean, you have to be open to criticism, legitimate criticism, not just like the usual Steam. This game sucks automatically because it's made with Unity. That's not helpful. I mean, shit. I see games the same way I see art, especially if you're doing it on your own. If your choice was basically to be simplistic and he was just in favor of something more complex, well, that's just preference. Yeah, and it was just, it was a combination of visual aesthetics, combination of gameplay. I mean, it was across the board. I don't think there's anything that he didn't touch on saying, and it wasn't a matter of, I think it would look better if you did this. It was you're doing this wrong. This is what you have to do if you want this. I'm just telling you, if you want the game to succeed, right? That's what he's saying. He was saying, like, you can put this out there, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to fail automatically. It's kind of like, wow, dude. So you're clairvoyant too. That's impressive, man. Not just advice. Yeah. So, does not faze me. Absolutely does not faze me. If I was making my very first game and I was putting a toe in the water for the first time, I would probably be more open and susceptible to that kind of stuff, and I'd take it more to heart. But after this many years, it's just kind of like, thanks, dude. That's cool. Screw that noise. Exactly. You just kind of go, oh man, you know what? That guy next to me says he has the perfect game, right? He says there's nothing wrong with it, and no one could ever make an improvement or suggestion that would improve it ever. And then, like, have them... No, actually, I think what happened was other people ended up starting walking up and playing the game, and I had to, like... I'm the only person at my booth, so I had to engage the new people and give them a rundown of how the game was played. So then finally just kind of went, all right, take care and good luck. It's like, thanks, buddy. Feel free not to come back. Yes. Feel free to get lost. That's fine. Yeah. The game's not going to be for everyone, and I fully expect, some people not to dig it at all. I got no issues with that. Alright, so that flashes. Oh, and I got to deal with the bottom text here. Oh, you know what? Actually, wait. I need to adjust this, don't I? No, he's centered. But he is not centered. So let me go back and center him. That didn't much move that, did it? Okay. Let's see. If Cards needed equals 0. Then this text should be, excuse me, bottom text. Text. Is now available. All right. Let me try, see how that fits. Come on. This villager is now available. Yep, that'll work. I don't think it's a bad game. Is it something I'm going to go crazy playing? Probably not. But it's fun, and I see it being far from a failure. Thanks. And that's pretty much what I'm shooting for, right? I mean, what I'm looking for is just something that, you know, when when you need a quick distraction, right? And you're like got nothing else to do, you have like 5 minutes, you know, just jump into an online match, right? A random match, and just see if you can destroy someone, right? And then bounce out. Yeah. I mean, it's not like I have a ton of depth in terms of tons of stuff to unlock or that kind of stuff. That just, you know, it's not like there's a career mode or anything like that. So this is much more of a, you know, if your friend's around and, you know, it's like, hey, you want to, you know, throw on a match together? Yeah, go for it. You know, that's basically what I'm shooting for, you know. For those that want to be diehards and, you know, want so hard to get their names on the scoreboard, go for it, man. But yeah, for me, it's like one of the games that I play, one of the soccer games that I reference as an inspiration for this. You know, I mean, I play it like, you know, a couple matches a day, and usually when I'm like, you know, having private time in the restroom or something like that. So, you know, my girlfriend is having an abdominal surgery next Wednesday, so I'll be playing Volley Village. Oh wow, man. Well, okay. Wow. Good luck with that. I hope everything goes well, man. But, okay, I promise I'll have an update before then. So, you'll have a newer, updated version to play. That's great. Hopefully I have the card stuff locked in. Let's see. Next Wednesday. Yeah. I feel pretty confident that the stuff I'm working on should be addressed. So at least the single-player stuff. I'll work out what went wrong with the multiplayer thing. Excuse me. Oh, I need to figure out the villager too, don't I? Switch. Switch the villager. Case. I'll just make it 1 through 5. It's actually a common procedure where they remove a tiny bit of the iris. Yikes. Oh, that's scary. Because there's too much water clogging up. Oh, man. Visions of the old Andalusian Dog movie from a million years ago. Ugh, that's tough. Should be okay, but thanks. Good, okay. Oof. Just the visual mindset of that, but, you know, thank God for modern day anesthetics, you know. Propofol for the win. All right, speaking of Propofol, I heard an interesting documentary. They're talking about how Propofol works like a light switch, right? Just shuts you off and just kills the brain. Modern day laser too. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So Propofol just like kills the activity, right? And then when you like, you don't have a sense of sleep. It's just like you're off and then you're back on again, you know, which is freaky stuff. Or as Michael Jackson learned the hard way. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing medical kind of thing. So I could just like, oh, because they were talking about how surgeries were back, you know, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, where they, you know, fill you with alcohol, try and help you deal with the pain. Oh, God. All right, I'm going off on a tangent I want to go on to, man. So good luck to her. And I'll definitely have an update sent up by then. I'm so close to getting this thing plugged in. But I want to get the cards, the unlock cards in place before I do. Crazy times. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to get the cards in place because the way the game plays right now is you play endlessly. You'll never have an opportunity to unlock the stuff without these cards. So I want to get that dialed in because I need feedback. If you guys come back and say that it takes too long to get these cards or the cards come too quickly, you need to space them out more, I could use the feedback. Absolutely need that feedback. So let's see. I called this villager icons, and this would be 0. Actually, I think I will drop that to 0 just to be consistent. Set active to true. Oh, actually, if I do it that way, in that case, all I have to do is, that's not even worth the effort. I just do it this way. Villager icon. The villager. Set active true. There. That's easier than doing a whole giant set of switches. And works just the same. Okay, so that unlocks that. So the villager turns on. That flashes that. This villager is now available. And then I'll do the little ping pong with him as well. Else. What's the text I'm using currently? Just 4 more cards. Alright. Highlight that. Bottom text, you need just, and then I'll fix this. Cards needed. More cards done. That should fix that. Okay, so that works, that works. And then we call this bottom text object. Yeah. Just switch these guys out and then change the delay. Let's see. 7, 1. I'll just make it the 1 second. 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's a 1/10 of a second difference. That's fine. So this would be 1.15 and 1.3. Let me put this above this. I don't have to, but I'll do that anyways. Should not available. Sweet. Okay, so that should be everything I need. I'm gonna do a test. Say, I could actually make the card flash on as well too. So. Oh. Let's see. Start with the game object. Transform. Local scale equals to new vector 3. Say 0.01. I don't. Whenever I do like the scale on this, I don't ever drop it to 0 for scale, just because the NGUI sometimes goofs out, and then when it scales up to the full size, some of the text in that are children of the object don't snap into place correctly. It's kind of a quirk. So my workaround is I just do it 0.1. If you look really closely sometimes, like when you see some of the things like the UN that has any kind of dynamic text attached to it, sometimes you'll actually see it as like a 1 pixel line, and like I said, that's this thing right here, you know. So I have to do that instead of the 0, otherwise sometimes it breaks. Doesn't always do it, and that's the worst thing. It's not, you know, it's not a consistent thing. But simple workaround is just to give it like that much size to begin with. All right, so then we go transform, and we do scale. Now we go. Vector 3 is a 1. And then we'll just say it's 1 second. And set, oops. Set ease. Missed. Do it out back. Alright. So this is going to make the whole, this whole window. So it's going to shrink it down to like 0 and then go up to 1. And I use this set ease command out back so it'll ping pong. It'll kind of like go beyond where it needs to and snap back. And then I'll do a show card now. And these are fake values, but I just want to test this real quick just to make sure it's actually working as I hope it will. Yeah, I'll come with that in a second. Cards needed is 4. Cards 1, we'll say it's 2. The villager is, we'll make them 3. Now I may have to put a delay on this because it's probably going to get covered by the black stuff, but I'll just leave this up for a second. But I think the fade, the black fade I used in the beginning is probably going to include all this stuff. So I may have to add a little, oh there it goes. Oh, because I don't have the menu up. That's right, so it is doing it fine. So tell you what, let me shrink him down from the get-go. Yeah. So 0.01, 0.01. Alright, so I definitely want to delay that. That's happening too fast. Okay. Oh shoot, I'm gonna have to like shift everything. Or alright, this will be ugly, but it'll work. So you've permanently focused on 3D and she has on 2D. Oh, me and the missus? Yeah, absolutely. I've been much more the 3D artist, and she is definitely the 2D artist for sure. Yep. She is a very talented. It's funny because when we first met, you know, being in LA in particular, we met in Los Angeles, and she went, "Oh, I'm an artist," and it's like it was everything in my power not to do the classic eye roll. It's like, oh god. Right? And then she gave me her business card, right? And I looked at it, and she had one of her paintings on the business card. And I went, "Oh, wow, crap! You're actually like a real artist." You know? I mean, it came off in such a way I didn't intend, but you know, the term artist gets thrown around a lot in LA. So, let's see. I'll do it this way. This is a total hack, but this is all temporary because I just want to test this. Delay start. See, yield wait. Oh, oops. Yield new. Wait. Why are you being a jerk? Yield new. Oh, you're being a jerk. Everyone calls themselves an artist now. It's like a fake it. It's like a fake it till you make it kind of thing. Yeah, you know. And so I tend to be very critical until proven otherwise. All right. So why is it yield return? Oh, that's why I forgot the return, didn't I? New wait for seconds. It helps when you actually do the format correctly. And I'll make it a 2-second delay. And once it finishes, then do the show. So start coroutine. This is all going to go away. I just want to do a quick test. to make sure that this thing is gonna like pop out the way I want it to. So let's see what this does. Not nearly big enough, is it? Okay. At least these guys. I should probably have like little sparks coming off of it too, like particle effects. Oh, you know what? Actually, let me do that. Let me do this right from the get-go. Alright, so we're gonna say we already know what this is, so yeah, I'm gonna fake this too. Three. I'm sure you came across a bunch of fake dudes telling you they're directors, producers who want to hire you for something if you do them a favor first. Oh yeah. Yep, had more than my fair share of that kind of stuff. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the old joke too. It's like, it's like, well, no, dude, there's no pay up front. I'm sorry, but it's always about the all powerful, it's all about the exposure, exposure is a great thing. Yeah, unless you're in space, So yeah. Tons of those over the years. But in fairness though, some of them, so those are my friends I have actually helped out, right? But no, someone that's like a stranger who just says they have this amazing idea that's just gonna do gangbusters, yeah, nah, not gonna be doing much on that. Alright. So why did that feel like that was going too fast? Alright. That did seem to go off at the wrong time. Okay. So I'm going to just do this. I'm going to say... Oh, that's why. Oh, crap. Because that text is getting changed right from the get-go. You know what? I'm going to do it this way. I don't like that at all. Alright, trying to think of how to do this quickly and cleanly. Update the text. I just do it this way. Update bottom text. Oh, come on, jerk. Deleted my text without saving it. Copy. Update bottom text. Like that. There it goes. So that won't kick off until let's say on complete. And I'll say update bottom text. There it goes. So we'll start off with this, and we'll just tell you what, we'll do this. We'll go bottom text, and we'll put nothing in there, so then it'll appear when it's time. That should fix that. Yeah. It works, but it's not pretty. Okay. I think if I, like, put some... I think it's taking too long to happen, combined with I need some stuff to, like, sparkle. I think I just have to maybe revisit it. But at least at this point I have the structure set up. So it's all working, right? I can assign it, and I can do it correctly, and it does all the right characters. Now it just becomes visual aesthetic tweaking, which is just going to be an on-again, off-again process. So, yep, we're at 4:30. So I think I've reached a good cutoff point. Let me turn this stuff back off again. Like so. Oops. Yeah, I'll turn, oh crap. You know what, I'm going to leave this up because I'm going to turn this into prefab and I don't want to lose track of it, so I'll leave that up for the time being. Turn him back off. Whoa. Turn the winning menu off. There he goes. Okay. Alright, so he's good. I'll leave him there. Oh, it is a prefab, so if I just hit that save. There. Alright, let me turn all this stuff back on again. Just make sure I didn't break anything. Menu. There he goes. Alright, I think we're back to where we started. With everything else in place. Yep. Uh-oh. Didn't like something. Oh, yeah. That's no big deal. Alright. Yep, we're good. I think we're all set. Alright, take care. I know talking to me gets old. No, dude. Absolutely. I enjoy the conversation. It is. Thank you so much for hanging out, man. Yeah. Neo Tokyo. Friday. I'll be back here 1 p.m. Thanks to you, man. No, please don't ever apologize for the conversation. It definitely makes it more enjoyable for me. And just, dude, thanks for hanging out, man. Thanks to everyone that was hanging out today. Thanks for the new follows. I do appreciate that, guys. Once again, let me do my obligatory. There he goes. The obligatory postings. So, for those of you with Android, you can check out the game. I promise I'll be doing a new update. As soon as I get this remaining pieces in, I will be doing a proper update. But if you want to check it out in the meantime, there is the link for Google Play for the beta version of Volley Village. If you want to give a shout to me outside of here, and I will update the Discord, so I actually add a game dev channel. But there is my server on Discord, so feel free to head over there and give me a shout. I'm always online. I got the phone with me. I have it on there, so if you want to, talk shop or anything you want to talk about, you can find me on Discord. If you don't have an Android device, but you'd like to try out the game, head over to my website, scaryrobot.com. On there, you can actually find a version of the game that will play in the web browser. It is a very dated version, but it at least gives you an idea of the game. I will update that one eventually, pretty soon. Oh, and then if you want to check out some of the streams, I know that Twitch kind of bounces the streams off of the page after a while, but if you want to see something that's older, you can head over to my YouTube page, which is right there, and I transfer all the videos over there, so they all live there eventually. So check me out on there, and then I'll throw it up here. Last, and of course, as I love to say least, is Twitter. I have it. It's completely neglected, but if you want to hit me up on there, you can reach me there as well. But I think that'll do it for me. That's it's still a pretty good day. I got a few things accomplished. Found out one issue that I have with Android. I have to track that down, figure out what's going wrong with that. But home stretch, guys. I mean, this thing is dangerously close to escaping and going into full beta testing, which you guys can help out. I'll have that set up for Android and iOS. But in the meantime, thanks again, guys. Come back on Friday. I will be here Friday, which is 1 p.m. my time, which is Pacific Standard Time. Adjust that for your schedule. And until then, you guys have a good time, and look forward to seeing you again on Friday. All right? Adios.